Oh, Kevin McLeod, if you could only hear your music now.
Heavy music being butchered. What you
Eh.
fucked with?
I remember he was like, I don't care, use my stuff. I'm like, even if it's like played over video of somebody crushing a puppy. Nope, I don't care. Just use my stuff. I don't care. So
Uh,
I think didn't they finish the didn't they release the that documentary about him recently? I think it finished
I don't
up.
know.
At least that's what the last update I checked on Kickstarter said, that they were finishing up.
Oh, really?
If I'm not mistaken, I'm prone to not being totally mistaken, but doesn't mean I still don't make mistakes.
Right.
Because I am but a man, but I can change,
Just a man.
I guess.
Manly man.
What makes
What
a
makes a
man is
man,
it the
Ben?
woman in his arms. Anyway,
No, it's probably the titties.
oh boy.
But anyway, so yeah, we got Ben on here. Frank's still MIA.
Mm-hmm.
We invited Doug on. I
I
heard
mean,
anything back from him, so we'll see.
uh, Doug's address was listed MIA from Ian's as well. He tried it, but I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
It's like I could see him on my thing, but every time I tried to add a thing, it's like, well, just send him a message. I'm like, no, I just want to send him Fine, I'll send him a message with the invite. Cool,
Yeah,
get
it's
your
a
stuff
pain in the
together.
ass.
It's 2020, all right.
I don't know.
Oh boy.
But yeah, no, it's glad to have you on. You're an OG, you know.
Word. I am old. Original gangster.
You're an old original gangster
Yeah, yeah. They're
from
gonna,
Office Space.
they're gonna have to um, run that stuff that Martin Scorsese used on Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. Maybe look all young again.
That's crazy how old those guys are getting now, you know.
Well, that's the thing is like they're like, well, we just want like some of these scenes, we just want to make him look like he's in his 40s, and I'm like, well, how old does he look now? Oh man, I've lost track of time. And I was watching. I've seen some people talk about that movie, and they're like, that part where he looks like he's 40 or 50. People were complaining. They're like, oh, these dudes look like they're in their 50s. Good, because they're in their 70s. That it's worked so. It's like
Yeah.
they're like the part where he goes out and beats a guy up. And like he's kicking him in the street. They're like he moves around like a guy in his 70s, but looking like he's 50. Because it's like, well, I guess if you get a beat down from a guy in his late 70s, I don't know.
Well, who did you like better, Robert De Niro or like Al Pacino?
I don't know, man. Al Pacino, like, I kind of like. I haven't watched too much of his recent stuff, so seeing him now, he just looks like he and Joe Pesci. They just look like totally different people than De Niro. Just looks like older De Niro. But it's like, the other guys, you only see them pop up every once in a while, so you're just like, oh,
Well, which of them does like all the family friendly stuff now? You know, like Meet the Fockers and stuff. Wasn't that De
that's De
Niro?
Niro. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, De Niro just keeps making movies. Pesci, it's like I couldn't
Yeah.
tell you the last thing I'd seen him in since Goodfellas and Casino. Which great films, and he's a great actor. It's just then Pacino. I don't know, man. Every time someone talks about one of his movies, it's always like, "Did you see Pacino just going full on Pacino?" And that, like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. And then there was I saw somebody took footage of it on YouTube and they ran it through one of those AI algorithms to try and try and make it better. They're like, oh, we're trying to improve what what Netflix did with this free tech, and it's like, they just look smoother. I don't, I don't know if I'd call it any better. The people from the deep fakes community.
Yeah, that's what it's called, the deep fakes.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah, I don't
man.
know. I watched. By the way, I watched one of those videos of Jazza looking at
Mhm.
like that AI shit or whatever, what art AI could do.
Yeah,
Like where he would draw like a mountain and some trees or whatever, like really basic shapes, and it would turn
and it
into
would
like a
fill it in.
photograph of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff is weird, man. Like, saw somebody draw a cat, but it was like set to fill it in. Like, it didn't quite just pull out a picture of a cat. It filled it in with like cat fur, so it was still like a weird drawing, but like like they'd stitched together a cat into that, and it's like, oh. So,
I've been watching a lot of that Jazza stuff now. I think he's cooler now because he's like making it more like for general art and doing crazier and crazier stuff. I mean, heck, he switched it from drawing with Jazza just to Jazza.
well, he doesn't so much draw now as like he's like he'll make a miniature model, or then he made that what's that truck that Elon Musk? He took a golf cart and made it to the
Yeah,
whatever. I don't know, man.
heck, he did shit with that 3D printing pen and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and he does a bunch of sculptures and stuff too. I just like how he's doing a wide variety of art now.
Mm.
I didn't know he got multi talented.
Yeah, he it's at art YouTube, so just all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, he did. Did you watch the YouTuber creator series where he would draw them as like a superhero or something or a villain?
I've watched some of those. Like he would draw the top YouTubers, and then he did a thing where he had like his members. Well, he would do like a thing where he'd have on Twitter, he'd tell people to add, send him a photo of themselves, and he would like either shop it or do something. And then after a while, he had so many people following him, he was like, okay, here's a picture of me and some green screen. Now show me what you can do with it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Jazza.
the royalty free, the music of Kevin MacLeod, it has been completed. They're submitting it to music festivals, and that was in November.
Oh, okay.
So cool.
Did they
That's good
did
to
they
know.
have any in there?
Hmm? I mean, they had links to some streams. I guess I think they were, getting people to, watch it with them and provide feedback. So,
It can only be one incompetent,
oh boy.
right? There could be
Oh
only
yeah.
one documentary. He's only gonna do one. But no,
Oh man.
it was. I just think it was cool that we had him on that long time ago.
Hmm. Yeah. He and the filmmaker and Kevin MacLeod himself, they're cool folks. Every so often, Kevin MacLeod will like live stream. I think he goes on Twitch and like he'll be messing around and doing stuff and replying to people that comment while he's tweaking stuff, telling a few jokes here or there. He'll test out a thing like when he got an accordion. He wrote like 3 or 4 pieces. Just like, look at this giant thing.
Yeah. I forget. Were you on that time that we had that other YouTuber on?
uh, maybe I think the was it
That Dennis guy?
the 3D modeler guy. I think he talked.
Yeah.
I popped on for that one. I think for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess he would be like our second celebrity on there.
YouTube. It's I don't know, man. I did I released a podcast on Wednesday where I was talking about all the stuff that's been going on with YouTube over the last decade, and then how the whole Copa thing recently, or Kappa, if you prefer to say it that way,
Yeah.
Copacabana. But yeah, that whole shindig going down, and it's like it's interesting, man, because like the whole idea of YouTube is like this old web 1.5 or early 2.0 kind of thing. It's like it's this place where you can make videos and upload them, and now it's like oh man, the amount of storing and then the bandwidth that takes. No, no. It's like
What?
the only people trying to make it are people competing with YouTube now.
Yeah, you can't make adult content on there and make money, or kids that content anymore. You know.
Well, it's like you can't, get targeted ads if you run kid content. And if it's kid content, they have no comments. You can't really search for it. It's basically
Yeah,
in a ghetto. And it's
it's in a
like,
black hole.
and then if you run adult content, it has to be certain kinds of adult that they'll advertise, but not so adult that they'll be like, oh no. So it's like, I don't
Oh
know.
no, it's too generic. They really need to let you be able to curtail your content for certain advertisers that would want to do it. You know.
Well, they're just digging for the middle. It's either pull on popular TV shows or you know I don't know, race for the middle. But
Yeah.
it's interesting though, the things that you like every once in a while I'll just look up a thing on YouTube and suddenly, oh no, I'm in a rabbit hole. Like today I was going down the fingerstyle guitar players rabbit hole. So it's like there's a guy playing Billie Jean entirely on the guitar, the vocal part and everything. Do 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 do. And the guy who's got like a 3-neck guitar who's playing Feel Good Inc. from Gorillaz. He's playing like the bass line and the do
Yeah.
do. Yeah, it's like, oh boy. The guy's got like 2 guitars and he's playing one here and one there. Oh boy. But yeah,
I,
or you stumble into somebody that has like, a million, viewers and you're like, I've never heard of these people before.
yeah.
I don't know, man.
And by the way, if you're wondering, I do have. I brought my computer over here and I have it set up, but I didn't bring my webcam, so I'm just using my phone, and then I have my other account just screen sharing there. So like when we do the news and battle stations and stuff, you can play along.
Oh boy. Ian. I don't know. I mean, whose computer was most likely to blow up the last couple of shows? Is it you or Frank? Because
It's Frank.
okay,
Yeah, because he's had problems with the temperature on there with this like with this water cooler, is all-in-one water cooler, because we did articles on it because apparently the brand that he had gotten had like quality control problems with it. So unfortunately, he didn't know that before he bought it. And it's a lot of mold and stuff. People are complaining.
yeah. I mean, I'm not really one to talk. My office computer is just past the, let's see, yeah, the 12-year mark because it's an early 2008, and then I'm using a laptop now, which it's funny when it's working, it runs fine, but then like I'm trying on date night, I try to watch videos with my girlfriend, and it's like okay, I'm watching a video on one browser, and I open up, you know, Reddit on the other one, and all of a sudden everything starts getting chunky, and it's like no, can't handle.
Really?
It's like what? It's but then I open up 1,000 incognito tabs, and suddenly it's fine. It's
Yeah, or
like Chrome.
Photoshop or whatever.
It's Chrome. It yeah.
It's just
I don't
like
know.
they must be putting a lot of bloat because it's like what changed. I mean, any like 3D graphics or something going across your screen. It's just browsing a web page and doing the same shit you did probably 10 years ago.
I don't know, man.
Do you have like a lot of extensions and stuff on there? Or?
Sometimes I turned a lot of them off to try and make it flow better, but I don't know. Recently there was an update to Windows 10 that like really screwed up how the sounds work because it like sometimes I'll be talking to her on Skype and I'll go to adjust the volume and I'll have like 3 instances show up and it's like I've only have the one Skype open. And then I have to set it like via app because my overall volume versus other stuff doesn't want to play nice. It's like, okay, if I up the volume in Skype, no, nope, not doing anything. Let me up my overall volume. Okay, Skype's louder. Oh, but everything is louder now. So it's like, got to play with sliders.
Are you talking about your Windows laptop?
Yep, this one right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got my iPad upstairs, but it's like, you don't want me to be broadcasting from an iPad because then you'd be doing a lot of, hey, what? Kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
So,
But I have mine. Like it's kind of like a DIY selfie stick, but with a, I can just stand it up on my desk here.
oh boy.
But so are you thinking or what?
Am I what?
Are you thinking about getting that cheese grater they call the Mac Pro?
I don't know. Right now, I just need to be. I've been debating whether or not I should try and get the latest Mac OS running on it or not because I've
Yeah. What's the
technically.
newest you could get on there?
Well, right now I'm maxed out at the newest that I can get, and it's like I'm about 2 or 3 versions behind, and they're like,
Oh shit.
"Oh, you can run this patcher that'll do it," and I'm just like, "Should I?" And it's
Oh
like,
shit.
yeah, it's like, well, I don't know, because I mean, it's like, because I'm already getting apps that are like, oh, here's the latest version of the app. Oh, it requires, the newer OS to run, and it's like, it's like, okay, fine, if I get the new one, it's like, silly, what happens if it breaks everything, or I
Well,
don't know.
what's the shit need? I mean, granted it's an older 8 cores, but you do have an 8 core. I mean, what do they need, like 50 cores on there or something? You know?
I don't, I don't know. I don't know what like I said, I have an early 2008 machine, so it's like it'll run, but they cut the limit off at like the like 2009 machines, I think it was, or some
Hmm.
of the yeah. So I
Well,
looked at
maybe,
it, and it's like, I don't know.
well, maybe there's certain compatibility things with because Apple's computers are proprietary, so maybe they have, it's not just the horsepower. Maybe it's like certain like driver issues or something. That they have to make sure it's compatible with.
Yeah, well, plus I don't know if like all those new features that they keep slipping into the newer versions, like how they put Siri on the computer, and then now they've got that sidecar or whatever it is, and it's like I just want what I've got to run. My main software is fine. It's just every so often I'll get a new app that's like, oh, this isn't the new OS. I can't run on this thing until you're important enough. I don't.
Right. But so what's been going on? You were saying before we were trying to figure out like your style or brand or whatever. Have you been working on any projects or anything like that?
Well, I mean, I did a video call a little while ago with cartoonist Steven Silver, talking to him about mentorship stuff and like trying to figure out how I identify how I present myself and my work. And he's like, well, you need to have a site obviously, but then my site, no rights productions, and I shorten it to norights.net, and it's like it doesn't quite it's not as simple as his site is Silver Tunes, because cartoons, it's an easy thing, and it's like with mine, you just go to there's the blog is the first thing you see, and it says no rights at the top, and then he's like, so are you saying artists have no rights? And it's like, no, it's it doesn't, it's like it doesn't present the image that I want exactly. So I've been trying to think up a better URL domain name for what I do, and it's like everything I hear I don't like. I'm trying to figure, like, I'm also doing the existential crisis of trying to figure out, like, who am I and what kind of stuff do I do? Am I a freelance animator that makes shorts by myself? And am I a cleanup guy? Am I an animator that'll just do work for hire for a shot here or there? Am I, And it's like, do I do what's special about my work? Like, I like to do stuff that looks retro and like, stuff that looks kind of like Cuphead or old black and white shorts, stuff that look more
Yeah,
like Weird Forward, and I want to, and it's like I really need to, solidify, make my stuff look like my stuff. So I've been trying to figure out what exactly me looks like, and
I you trying to focus and stuff? Is that what 2020 is gonna be about? Is focusing?
well, sort of focusing and experimenting. Because a little side project I've been working on for a while, because I'm going to try and redesign the layout of my blog site and put the demo reel and stuff there, because I think I can clean that up. I know what I need to do to it. It's like for a while though, I've been experimenting with a site that I wanted to build and make it more like an old school Flash cartoon site. So something akin to like Homestar Runner or Joe Cartoon, but instead of Flash, I wanted to make it with HTML5 canvas, animations. So I've been tinkering with that and the uh, flat file CMS, content management system behind that. So that way I don't have to make each individual page. I can just make posts and put the stuff in it. So been
Right.
tinkering around with that. So yeah, lots of tinkering with like the old man spectacles going, let me just oh no, hold on. Breaking stuff, making some it's like, okay, let me fix this, and oh, that doesn't look right. Well, let me find out what I did wrong. yeah.
Right, right.
Yep. So how about you, Ian? What you been up to?
Uh, I've been 3D printing some things for my parents. Lately, I've been designing some different cutout things for their dog biscuit business because they do like different shapes and stuff. They mainly do dog bones, but they also do like uh, like different sports or like holiday type of design cookies cutouts.
So like cookie cutter cutouts, or for like making
Yeah,
your own, or like chew toys kind of thing.
yeah, making my own just like cookie cutter things.
Okay.
I even made this thing. They do these little like cylinders of dough that they call morsels, and that what they've been doing is they just like have been rolling the dough out in like a long rope and then just cutting them into sections, and those are kind of like little cylinders. And then I designed a thing where I I made these things that would just cut out like a little circle, and then I had them like interlocking pieces,
Mm.
so you could do like a whole bunch at the same time, so look more consistent that way. Because when you're cutting them by hand, obviously the lengths are going to be, like a little bit inconsistent,
Well, it depends on how many you're making. Like
Yeah.
if you're trying to sell them versus just enough for the doggy play date.
Basically, when it's done, it looks like it's like dog food, kind of.
Oh boy.
But yes, I've been working on some of those designs. I've been doing some more. I haven't had a chance this year to work on these under cabinet LED strips for my parents. I ordered some of these metal channels that are going to act as fixtures for the LED strips. I'm going to put under the cabinets, and I've been designing and 3D printing out some end pieces. Like I was going to make these brackets so you can with holes in it, so you can uh, like screw in like some screws or whatever to hold it into the wood under the cabinets. So I've been trying to work on that, and I still have like a lot of soldering and wiring to do with those. It's a huge project. It's probably like if you had somebody do this, it'd probably be hundreds of dollars that they would charge you probably.
But they've got a son. Eh?
Yeah, they got some free labor.
Well, is this something where they're like, son, we really need some undercover lighting, or is this just something where you volunteered to do it and it suddenly became this big, huge project?
Exactly. I was like, well, I didn't know what I was getting into.
And then they come home and like, Ian, what's all this weird lighting and stuff? We don't. This isn't what we want.
Well, I was getting them to kind of let light strips where you could have it be an ordinary like warm type of LED, or you could turn on the colored LEDs also. So like if they want to do some kind of like Halloween lighting or Christmas or something, you know.
Oh no, are you gonna have your folks be like battle stations with their kitchen and they've got all the crazy
Well,
glowing lights?
that you could have it look like that, yeah.
Oh yeah. Man.
Well, that's what my dad had. He had came up with the idea before I even offered to help with it. But he had gotten these LED strips where it's just an ordinary LED RGB strip where you could turn on. For those that don't know, an RGB light is just basically it has like a red, green, and blue uh, LED, and each like like smaller LED and the actual diode, so um, you can do any color combination you want. Then, like when all of them are turned on, it basically looks whitish. Most of the time, though, it has like a bluish white to it look to it. But the strips that I got for them had that, but also a regular warm light LED on it, so you can do the traditional lighting too, and it'll look like a warmer light. I mean, I I suppose you could also get ones with that are more of like a daylight light, but with the RGB, you could kind of fine tune it to any temperature that you wanted. Also,
Well, I'm just wondering if you're gonna make like a movie marquee and just have it like strolling like dinner tonight is chicken.
no, the ones I got them they were those are more expensive. You're talking about that's what you call it addressable LED strips where you can program each LED light individually. What I'm talking about is the whole strip will just be one solid color. I mean,
So like
you could animate it, but the whole strip is just solid.
those are like one of those programmable like the Christmas tree light ones. It just flashes up and down different colors.
Well, it just has a remote. You could pick a single color and like red, green, blue, and some in between colors, or you could have it animate between like rainbow puke or whatever you call it.
Oh man.
But yeah, um, yeah. Frank's he had bought some UV strips too to put in his computer because he wants to do he's going to do his own custom water cooling in it now. He wants to get into that, and he's going to get like UV tubes or whatever in there, or UV dye.
Of course he is.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, a lot of times when you volunteer for something, a lot of times it does end up being a bigger project than you wanted. I mean,
Well, it depends if it's something you get creative with it or somebody says, "Hey, that thing you were doing, how about you make it like 4 times more?" And you're like, what?"
the thing is I got to kind of make them neat because they're going to leave these when they sell the house. They're going to leave the lights in there for them. They
uh,
Yeah, so it'll kind of add value to the kitchen. Had some regular LED bars in there, but I guess they were pretty cheap and they didn't last that long.
yeah, I watched a video from I think BuzzFeed video. They have every so often they'll do where they have like two people in different states and compare like they cost their property costs the same to rent, but they're like this is like the last one was in Seattle. This is what you get for 2 grand, and in Austin, Texas, this is what you get. And the guy in Seattle, like his apartment building, like he's on like the basement floor because his dog likes to dig, so he decided to get a floor that he can't get to. There's nothing else under it. And then like it was like a loft, so it was like way up high, and then like their kitchen, it had the under cabinet lighting too. He's like, "Ooh, look at this!" And I'm like, "That looks neat, but I would never use it personally." Sure, it's useful
Yeah.
though, if especially if you do a lot of cooking at in the evening and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
the yeah, the thing that sucks about different places though is that like the minimum wage really doesn't keep up with like how like the living
Well, the minimum wage hasn't really
cost of living a lot
changed.
of times.
Like they had to force it up because it hadn't changed since like the 70s, and counting inflation and all kinds of other stuff. They're like the amount of work workers have put in has gone up, but the cost of living and everything hasn't been adjusted. So it's like, people are like, oh, you want to pay $15, to flip burgers? It's like, well, if they gotta live off it, man, it's like it's your job. You go to it all day, and it's like, those are hard jobs. Pay them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying like if you compare here but if you go to California and try to live there, there's like no way. Even their minimum wage definitely isn't high enough for that. I don't think for the living there. Here, not
Well,
as bad, I
Ohio
guess.
has one of the like, I think is it Akron is supposed to be one of the most affordable cities to live in the country. So it's like third or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, California. The problem with California is everybody wants to live there because it's nicer weather. So
yeah. Unfortunately, you can charge for that.
yeah, well that's the thing. People go there and then they realize, oh, this place is just too expensive, and then they leave. So I don't
Yeah, you
know.
get $1 million shack because it's on a cliff over the water or something.
Or like I saw a map on Reddit recently where they're like, people in these dark blue spaces, there are more people living there than in all the big light blue spaces, and it was basically New York, everywhere else. It's like yeah, I don't know. You've seen that I think there's a Tumblr dedicated to horrible places for rent in New York and California, where they're like you can rent somebody's closet or a place that looks like a murder basement, no windows. They just put an air mattress there,
Yeah.
no bathroom. Oh man.
Check out my Tumblr. Check out my Tumblr.
Oh, don't be a hater. I don't know. I haven't spent too much time on Tumblr since they rolled out that whole. You know, I guess the easiest way to say it is since they outlawed boobs, but it's like there's other things. It pushed out a lot of friendly adult content. Stuff for sex workers or discriminated communities. A lot of smaller groups and stuff. So it's like they shot themselves in the foot
Yeah.
doing that. So
Yeah. Well, even if you're not looking for that stuff, it probably pushed off a lot of people that were just into it in general, and then they stopped putting stuff on there that you would like. It kind of
well,
just pushes everybody away.
Well, like if I'm looking at an artist that posts a picture they made of something, and it's like, oh, but they have to put a box over the nipples. It's like, really? I'm a grown man. I don't mind. Let just let me tick a little thing that says show me adult content. I'm good. I don't. It's not that hard. You don't need to
Yeah.
destroy it from your content. From your site and wipe it.
It's just like other these laws are making. But you got to think about the children. You got to. It's our job to sit everybody on the internet.
Oh, but won't anybody think of the children, Ian? Or Mark Zuckerberg and everybody think of the poor Russian money that he just wants. It's like we won't police the ads for corrections. We won't fact check them. Well then, we have outside fact checkers. Yeah, but still, you've seen that video where
Yeah.
AOC was asking him at the hearing, like, so if I wanted to run a thing that said Republicans did something that they didn't, could I do that? I don't see what you're getting at, man. Could I run an ad that's a lie? Well, and it's like, well, if the answer is yes, then you've got a problem.
Yeah. Well, just like
Uh,
I had to change uh, that, for that COPA thing. I had to go in and check my profile on my or my account on my YouTube that my channel is not for kids.
Nope. No child content here. Which,
Yeah.
as an animator, that was fun watching the misinformation train when that happened. Because animators are like, "Oh, I'm concerned because like what's to keep somebody from reporting my stuff," and people are like, "Oh, they won't do it." It's like the guy is, at the thing saying that it's like shooting fish in a barrel. It's like that doesn't instill confidence that they're not going to go, "Yeah, you're dead."
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
But anyways, do you want to? What are you drinking on though, huh? Let me pull up the soda talk.
I don't give a fuck.
Soda Talk with Frank and Ian.
Frank's
Or
Spirit.
Frank, Ben and Ian.
Yeah.
Frank Spirit, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm drinking a combination of just juice that I mixed some tart cherry juice and some kiwi strawberry in. So, because tart cherry by itself, that's too harsh, man. Oof. That's
Yeah.
so. And so, usually when I'm drinking soda, like at the office, I'm usually drinking Mountain Dew Voltage or some Live Wire since they don't have Baja Blast.
Yeah. I went. The Marks that I went to today still had. They had a bunch of 12 packs of this Mary mashup still.
What's it taste like? Cranberry?
Yeah, it's basically cranberry and other artificial flavors.
Yeah, I could have used that a while ago. Oh man.
Cranberry juice. I mean, it's okay. I'm not too crazy about it.
I don't care. It's not about the flavor. It's about preventing. Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna prevent shit, man. That's probably gonna make shit worse drinking that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's only going to be around till they finish selling it.
Right.
Would you be wanting to drink a Christmas drink into, halfway through the year?
What do you go to usually for your drinks and grocery? Just like Kroger's or something?
No, we go to the Walmart.
Oh, okay.
Because Kroger's too expensive.
Oh, really?
It's ridiculous. It's like you can get the same stuff at Walmart for a reduced price. I mean, there's also a Meyer down the road from so it's like the problem is that like a lot the prices are comparable or some stuff is you think is it's different. Oh, it's a little higher at the Meyer, but it's like the generic stuff there that you just get is just not quite as good.
Right.
So it's like unless you have something specifically you want to get, you don't. And then there's Aldi. Uh,
Yeah, that's true. By the way,
hmm?
how's Solange doing?
Oh, she's doing all right. She said to say hi for her. So she had a busy
Oh,
day
okay.
today. She went and rehearsed with her church choir and did some errands and stuff. So we're running around with the family. So we decided to have a call before this one, so that way like because she was like, I don't know if I go lay down for a nap, I just might not get up for the rest of the night. And it's like, well, if that's okay, we'll do a little chatting and watch a couple YouTube videos together, and then you start, you know.
Yeah.
So
Didn't you have a date night yesterday?
yeah, last night was date night. We usually like in the evenings we try to talk to each other every day, usually at 9 o'clock, because that's she's more of a night owl than I am, and so yeah. Mm-hmm.
What kind of church does she go to?
Lutheran.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Is that what usually some kind of Christian or something?
Yeah, it's
Never really thought about it.
it's a Christian. It's a Martin Luther's the the guy who nailed his issues to the church door. I created Lutherans.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
Apparently, there's like two different in Canada. There's two different factions of it. Like one that's more traditional and has things that she disagrees with, and then there's the one she belongs to. I just don't remember which because I'll be honest, I don't. I mean, I don't. I've basically held the same stance I had when I was a little kid. It's like organized religion. It's cool. So I don't like when a lot of people get around you and start talking about God because then it gets kind of awkward.
What did South Park say? You're all going to hell. The Mormons, you got it right.
But it's just like people they'll either argue scripture with you or they do the Lord told me. Oh no, oh boy. Because at that point there's no talking. It's like I saw Bigfoot and he told me. I saw the aliens and they told me. It's like you. It's like that's fine. Each religion is your own personal experience with you and the creator and the universe. That's great. But I don't want to talk to you about it because it gets weird. And that's how I felt when I was like 5, 6 years old, and then I spent a while trying to figure out how I felt as an adult, and then I finally came to the conclusion I still feel the same way.
That's
organized religion gets weird.
the thing with politics and religion in general is it's best to stay away from it a lot of times because when you're arguing about it, you're basically like trying to change how each other is wired, that's so ingrained into who a person is like.
Well, I mean, the problem with politics and stuff like that is how it when it comes to religion and stuff is that it becomes its own thing where obviously we're obviously religious, so we're and it becomes its own politic inside. That's how you get the guy who's supposed to be the one that the evangelicals like is 3 times divorced, had an affair on his wife, doesn't really go to church, but he's their guy. Yeah, it's like how does this work? Because see, he's on the red team, and that's one they play for, and it's the other people are on the blue team. See, so obviously they, Anyway,
do you want to check out some battle stations here?
Sure. Pew 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 pew.
Pew pew. Right.
Pew pew.
Man your battle stations. Man your battle stations. Station.
Who's excited for Bill and Ted 3?
Yeah. What was that supposed to be about again? Just
Bill
like them when they're older.
Yeah, they're they're middle aged and they still haven't written the song that changes the world yet. Which I'm like, are they going to retcon to the end, like the ending of the last one, or does all that stuff have happened, but it's not like San Dimas of, Rufus's world? I don't know.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
That's cool. What about that new Ghostbusters?
I mean, the thing about Ghostbusters right now is it's the same as picking a Democratic candidate. It's a lot like it's like you just want to go in and have fun and pick somebody that pick something that you like, and then there are the Bernie Bros who you like Bernie Sanders, but then there are the people there none of the other guys. If Bernie doesn't do it, then we're voting for Trump. What? And that's how it feels with Ghostbusters. It's like no, you had to hate that last movie. It was this like Doug puffing up his chest and hating all the stuff that he didn't see and announcing he wasn't going to see it because of the politics about it. And it's like, he's like,
well, actually, he did.
Huh?
He did see it finally. That's why I came on the show last week to give his opinions on.
Well, I mean, he was like, oh, you got Melissa McCarthy and all the fat jokes. Actually, they didn't do any fat jokes with her in that movie, Doug, but okay. Yeah, it's I mean, I liked it, and I was hoping it would do well because there were supposed to be a lot of people wanting to do spin-offs in it. You know, they wanted to do one with Chris Pratt and who was the guy from 21 Jump Street?
Jonah Hill.
Channing Tatum. No,
Oh, the
Channing
other guy.
Tatum.
Yeah, Channing
Yeah,
Tatum.
they wanted to do one together. You know, and I was like, I'm gonna watch that. That would have been great. But you know, they're like, no, this isn't the original Ghostbusters. It's like, man, whatever. And then that trailer for the new one came out, and Doug was posting on Facebook. He's like, look, a real Ghostbusters movie. I'm like, okay, so no recognizable faces. This is all new characters. Oh, there's the kid from Stranger Things. Oh, there's Ant-Man. Yeah, this is a real Ghostbuster. I mean, I don't, you know, I'll watch it. I don't care. I don't need to have closure on what happened to everybody. I mean, whatever.
What Doug was basically saying, and I mean, I could get what he's saying is that, you know, it adds some kind of relation to the original movies.
It was a reboot. That's what it was. They were, you know, the 2016 one was pitched at. That's what it was. I mean, I was fine with it like that. And they're bringing in this new one. It's like the other guys will come into it, but honestly, to the extent of, did you ever see Extreme Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be like that episode where they brought, you know, the two-parter where they brought the other guys back for that one. And it's like, what's the point? Like, I don't need to see, you know, I mean, I loved real Ghostbusters, but it ran for a long time, and I don't need to see their story wrapped up 20 years later in a cartoon with you know, different voice actors. And in the same way with the movie, it's like, you know, they're like, okay, we obviously can't bring Egon back, so we're gonna have he at some point had a daughter who then she had kids. Okay, so this is two degrees of don't give a fuck. I mean, it's like okay, you didn't introduce that he had kids, and then you didn't introduce that she, you know, we don't know who she had kids with, and it's like, I'm supposed to care about people. I mean, don't get me wrong, the kids actors look great. I'm sure it'll be a fun movie, but it's like, if you didn't call it, you know, if you didn't say it had to follow the original Ghostbusters, these were all new characters that happened to find the old stash of equipment, like they just moved into Egon's house after he died, I'd be fine with that. Like, I don't care. Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be his son directing it, so I mean, I would trust him, you know. I think Ivan is supposed to be like
Ivan Reitman.
You know, like help it. Yeah, Ivan Reitman, his son.
I
think Ivan Reitman is supposed to be co-producing it too. So
yeah, I mean, whatever. You know, I'm sure it'll be, you know, it'll be a Ghostbusters movie. It'll be fun regardless. I just wish we didn't have to have the politics of, did you like the girl one or did you not? Or are you pro this or you pro? Shut up. Just let me enjoy a movie where we bust ghosts. Damn. You know?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they'll probably bring on a lot of the same people that, you know, like the set design or the same like effects people and stuff as the
it's like, okay,
recent Ghostbusters one, you know.
Well, it's like you'll have Annie Potts there, and she'll say that we got one because that's literal. That the movies didn't give her much of a character. She was fleshed out in the cartoon a lot more, and then Rick Moranis, he retired from acting. He's done a few things here or there. He's put out an album or two, but it's like, is he going to come back? He didn't come back for the game, so you know, it's like, and really, I mean, honestly, real Ghostbusters fleshed out the characters and you know, all that stuff a lot more than the two movies did anyway, because there were like, you know, a butt ton of episodes. You can tell more story with that. So it's like the movies. It's like, you know, I love the movies, but I don't need to have it follow the storyline. I don't know.
Well, I think, I mean, you can only get so much out of these future movies here because I mean we didn't get what everybody wanted, which was Ghostbusters in Hell for Ghostbusters 3.
Well, that's why
You know.
the video game they said was basically the plot of Ghostbusters in Hell. At least that's how I've heard it. But the one thing I will say about the trailer that I took issue with was the line, "Oh, there hasn't been a ghost sighting in 30 years." And it's like, okay, no, I don't. That makes no sense contextually. It's like, even if realistically they close if realistically they closed the doorway between the the ghost world and our world, and there were no real ghosts in 30 years, there would be people who would see something. Like, that's the whole point. There'd be fakes. There'd be it's like the whole line. There hasn't been a ghost sighting in 30. Shut up. No, that's what is it? That will not play into the movie because that makes no sense.
Yeah. What do you? I'm sure we could agree. It probably wouldn't have been pretty that good if we would have done like a reboot as far as rebooting the characters themselves. That would have been terrible, right?
You're more like a game show host. But anyway,
Yeah.
so back to Battlestation talk, Ian. Tell us about this one.
I don't know. I just think it has, it's got a good aesthetic as far as like how neat the posters are and the monitors and stuff. It's got like a nice symmetry and balance to it.
So like, what's this? I can't really tell what this stuff is in the showcase.
I'm not sure either. I mean, Frank, you're not going to get as detailed of an explanation because Frank, he really knows all about the different headsets and stuff.
Okay, so is this? Well, like, what is the? Okay, is that a bunch of mice up there?
Yeah, it's basically just like hardware boxes for computer components. It looks like.
Okay.
Because the one says i7 or whatever, Core i7.
I like the desk. Kind of looks like something you'd see on like the original Star Trek. It's just a box with
it does.
bits and pieces. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So this is a desk PC then.
It's all built into the desk. It looks like.
Yeah. It's interesting.
And there's what looks like, is that a video card up in the wall too?
Yeah.
So I guess he just probably swaps out pieces as he needs. Like,
yeah.
Like, what's this particular unit for? Because it's got the 3 screens doing a nice, panoramic. So is it?
Well, I'm not.
Like,
I don't know. It's my self-built gaming desk setup.
Okay. So it's a gaming rig. Okay, it's like, is it for like music production, or because I wasn't seeing anything, and it's like, so it's probably for gaming, and then it's like, okay, yeah, gaming.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I'm, built into the desk. There's noticing that that the side there is very pointy.
Yeah, I would hate to like trip over that, man, or stub your foot on that shit.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like is the gaming chair, because, yeah, I have a gaming chair, and it was a big regret.
Well, some people like stuff, some people don't. I mean...
Well, it's just they're so uncomfortable. I mean, they look really good, but they're uncomfortable. Unless if you're, like, a really tiny person, I guess,
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
And it's like me and Frank were discussing before. The racing seats in general, they're not, like in an actual racing car, they're not meant to be comfortable to be able to sit in for long periods of time,
They're meant for optimization of that, like, 10 seconds where you're...
Yeah.
Just like these computers and everything are designed to look cool. Well, it's like when you see that mouse that's the computer mice that are basically built like a giant blade, and you're just like, where am I supposed to put my hand? I don't... So, okay.
Yeah, I never got into the whole craze of like having your computer tower be like, look like a Transformer's head or something like that, like really, I don't know, like really robotic looking. I like a nice sleek looking box shape with like a window on it, so you could at least see what's inside.
it's like the computer equivalent of like those tribal tattoos.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just because you can do it. All right. So I'd say for what it is, that looks all right. You know.
All right. And here we go. Here's the next one here.
That's a lot of monitors.
Finally finished my battle station. It is a lot of screens. I mean, Frank would like it, I would think.
I mean, if anything, I'd be a little concerned that you have so many screens, but then there's not much other lighting in the room. It's gotta be harsh on the eyes.
Yeah. Hey, well, that's what Frank does. He has every time he's on, all of the lighting on him is from his monitors.
And then he goes, "Hold on, where to go? I can't see it. Where? What?" So,
Yeah.
so let's see. They've
It's
got
pretty
what looks
interesting.
like. So is that like a curved monitor in the middle, or just
Yeah.
like an
I
ultra
think
wide?
I think
Okay.
it's a curved ultra wide or whatever.
Okay, and then he's got two wide screens flanking the side, and then like a big TV that looks like it's on one of those arms, and another.
Yeah.
Is that just another monitor in the back?
Yeah.
And then
I'm guessing this is a streaming setup because he has a Discord up there and stuff.
and then the laptop to the side.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I can see there's a microphone there, and he's got the chair.
Yeah, game streamer definitely.
Okay, so gaming streamer. I mean, it does what it does what it needs, I suppose.
Yeah, command
I
center.
mean,
Oh, that's
that's
the.
not. Yeah.
You said the giant TV is powered by the laptop.
Ah, yeah. I mean, it basically looks like if you were gonna organize drone strikes or play, stream while you play games. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, it's
I
not bad.
mean, it's all basically here's my screens, and then some mice and the laptop. I don't. Is it all everything basically powered from that laptop, or does he have a box
No,
somewhere?
just the TV. I think the other screens.
Okay,
So laptop here and then
and so we don't see
TV.
the tower or the computer itself at all. It's all
Yeah.
just hidden.
I'm sure I could probably. He'd probably. No, actually, that's all the comments.
Yeah, because the last guy, he had his computer built into the table, which is aesthetically interesting decision. It's at least we know what the thing is. This one, it's like, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't get. Neither people gave specs for the computer, so I couldn't tell you how good the computer was itself.
Well, I mean, like the other guy, basically, I mean, this guy's got twice as well, almost. Well, I'd say twice as many because he's got the one big TV and then the small laptop, and then so that would probably equal out to
You
about.
could consider it 6 screens, I guess, if you count the laptop screen.
Yeah, it's just you've got the curved one in the middle, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this one here, this one, he's, got like a green and blue color theme, which is always nice when you do some kind of theme or whatever.
I like that he took the time to make the wallpapers line up because that takes time when you've got an image
Oh yeah.
to the resolution, and then you have to go, okay, if I'm over an inch, and then I mean that is a really wide screen though.
Yeah, that's one of those super ultra wides. I think it's like a 21 by 9 or not 21 that's bigger. It's like a 32 by 9. It's basically 3 monitors in one.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I don't know, and then is that just a TV in the back?
I'm assuming, or just like regular monitor, that like a large monitor.
That's the thing. Is like with this big wide monitor, you can't really tell what the back one is. And then he's got one of those Is that a gaming keypad or is it like one of those streaming mini controller things?
Yeah, it's one of those. I believe it's the Elgato Stream Deck where you could basically put like your own images on each keypad.
Mhm.
Like it lights up with the picture. It's like each little button is like a little screen on it.
Yeah, because he's got the microphone and then he's got the stuff with lights on them. I'm going to assume that those two small things in the back are probably hard drives,
Yeah.
and then are those speakers or are those because because he's got the tower with a stylus on it, so I'm guessing he probably has a tablet somewhere.
Yeah, probably somewhere.
So I'm guessing he's a streamer too. Then
Yeah.
I would assume so.
I mean, when you get something that wide and it looks curved, so I'm sure that's very expensive. At that point, to me, it's just like, why not just have a big TV? Like at that point, because I mean, so if you're just wanting real estate, if you're not, it's a matter of like, if you're doing pixel perfect precision, that's a different thing. Because I've used a giant TV, tried to use it for art stuff, and it's like, no, the pixel precision is just not worth it. It was an old plasma screen, so. But
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I'm not sure what the resolution of that monitor is. It could be 1080 high, or it could be a 1440. I think we did an article where me and Frank did a little while ago where they had 4K now.
Yeah.
So it'd be like 2,000 pixels tall.
Yeah,
whatever this super ultra wide would be.
I don't know about screens these days. I mean, I've got this laptop and it's got a 1080 screen on it, but the problem is that to get that size in a laptop portable, everything is just a little too small. So like you've got everything's past the fold when you got to scroll around, and it's like when I go back to my office and I've got the 21UX, 21UX, and then I've got what used to be our old HD TV that was like 24 inches. It's like that. It's like you see something that big, and it's like, oh man, I appreciate seeing stuff this big, because it's like I could boost everything to be big on this, but it's like then I would do even more scrolling. So
Yeah.
you got a compromise of resolution versus actual size and how it affects things. I mean, I like
This is the curved monitor. I could see how they would. I guess the purpose of doing like a super ultra wide curved monitor is, like for playing video games. I guess it's more immersive because then basically the monitor almost wraps around you. Then
Well, like with this, he's basically almost got like an IMAX kind of thing going because he's got the monitor that wraps around you, and then he's got the thing up front, like basically if you want to watch The Dark Knight. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I like what streamers do where they'll have like a separate monitor for like chat and be doing stuff, and then just have a separate screen where it's just that stuff. But it's like when you have. I don't know what Frank does with his screens because I haven't seen his setup in person, but it's like I don't need that much real estate. I just basically full screen my browser and full screen a game and it's like if I had like if I had like that one guy that had like 6 screens and have to figure out, okay, how many of these are dedicated to the game? It's like just the one or the.
Yeah, it's a lot going on, man. Especially if you have them from multiple computers and shit, it gets crazy.
And then it becomes, does this thing support it? You got to have a different video card, or they, oh, you can only play in this one window and the other has to be for other crap. Still, yeah. I mean, this is a fairly. It's a simple setup, but I like it, and it's better lit than that last one. Like surprisingly, the guy that had a whole bunch of monitors, this one he has the case out and it actually adds some nice ambient light. Well,
yeah, I would say this would be my favorite one.
Does he have like a light bar under the TV in the back? Because it looks like there's some light. Yeah.
I'm guessing there's some kind of LED strip or something back there.
It's subtle, but it's a nice balance of light because that second one was just too dark outside the screens that it would start burning your eyes after a while, especially late at night.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the first one was nice. It was a little bit busy, but it was also very customized. I like it. I like that it looked like something from Star Trek. Like, did he have the let's go back, let's look at the case he's got that he's made a he turned the case into the desk. Like, does he have physical switches and dials on that?
I don't know.
All right, because like I see lights up there at the top. Like, I wonder if those are connected to anything or if they're just for show.
I think those are like fans or something.
Well, I figure he's got fans on the sides, like those three right there, right? Or those,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then he's got lights on the other side. And he's got on the main. Then he's got like that little screen on the main panel, like above the table itself.
Yeah.
And a slim phone. I mean, does he not have any more pictures showing off the build? Because he's basically customized this, so it's like one of those, like those old MIT like supercomputers they had,
Yeah.
where they were like all padding because you kind of had to sit next to them half the time. Oh man.
No, I think this is the only picture that he had of it. Yeah, it's only a single image post, I think.
Well, I mean, it's cool as a personalized custom setup. As long as it runs what he wants and it's built into the table, like he doesn't have to worry about cord management.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's got all those boxes of parts. Like, is he just showing off everything they had in the machine on the boxes of it? Like, here's my video card, here's the memory.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say some people they'll have just video cards on display. Like if they have an older video card that they switched out from, like last month or something, if they keep up on it that much, I don't know, but like they'll just put it on display to look real techy. Heck, some YouTubers will have the boxes like they'll cut off like the front part with the pictures and stuff out of the box that the thing came in, and like put it on their wall and have like a collage of different video card and
I
motherboard
mean,
boxes and stuff.
it makes sense if that's your thing. Like the people that have the wall of soda cans to show what kind and how much they drink. It's like if that if your deal is to show that off, it's just like car guys, who like they'll have the cover of the different magazines and stuff. So
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
I mean, it's not for me, but
It
I
could
just
be
like
for somebody, and you could still appreciate it if it's not
see that's
something
why
you would do.
the thing I really appreciate about that one is that it's a nice custom like desk build. Like I figured he would show like here's what I put together and here's how it works, because it's like you don't see those too often.
Right.
And then the second guy, he just had a lot of monitors. Like if he uses those regularly, I'd kind of like to see it in action because then that's where I'd be impressed. Because he's like, okay, I got my chat over here, and I game on this one, and then this one is for posting to Reddit.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I do I like the last one. I think is probably the cleanest,
Yeah, it had the best light, but it also had the most usability, like
Oh yeah.
screen wise. I mean, considering it just a monitor situation, really, because we don't know the
Yeah.
specs of the computer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't bother to list any. They don't have any kind of description or anything.
Well, like if you're posting a picture of it to brag, shouldn't you explain what it's made of? Like here's my car, and it's all been chopped down, or I built it piece by piece. Wouldn't you be bragging about it?
Right. Yeah, it's hard to find a picture of it, but yeah, like basically they'll take like the different boxes here, like they'll cut off the front part of it or whatever, or the back, and then they'll stick them to the wall and make a whole thing out of it, you know?
I mean, it
Like
makes sense.
wallpaper.
You know, it's like I watched iJustine when she got the new cheese grater Mac, and she rented like 3 red cameras to film the unboxing because and to show off, you know, the new computer's ability, you know, power for editing that kind of footage. It is like, well,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, what do you
I
like
mean,
her? That iJustine?
she's done. She's been around for a long time, so I've known her, you know, stuff from all the different, you know, you know, commenters online, and then she's done a few things with Linus, you know, to set up her server storage space and whatnot. And then
Oh yeah,
they did
definitely.
that. They did a couple of videos comparing, you know, which Mac was better. I mean, which was better, a Mac or a PC to edit the video. I I don't know. I watched a Linus video the other day where he and another guy had their wives assemble computers, and they were just like, come on, they're not even loading any of our videos to check, you know. And it's like, I was like, oh, I'm like, come on now, guys. They don't, you know, they're like you know, they're like me. They don't, they're just, you know, average people. They're not trying to be super elite. But then later I watched one of those junkyard war things where it was the or scrapyard war videos where they couldn't use internet, and suddenly Linus is just like, oh, I need a map now, and
Yeah.
I don't know where anything is. it's like, it's like, oh, the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think it's safe to say that one is the winner. You get congratulations, you get a peanut because we on the show like this.
Excellent!
For the extent of he's posting a picture to, you know, see,
Oh,
do you
shit.
like this setup, to compare this between the other two, I'd say it definitely looks the nicest. I don't know how it compares performance wise to, you know, that second one, since he is a streamer, so I don't know. I do like the color scheme on the tower though, because it's nice and consistent.
Oh yeah,
Because, you
that's
know, it's
pretty
like
good.
blue and green, they're fairly similar, and you know, you get a nice dark to light spots. You know, you don't just randomly see a red light in there or something that's, you know.
Yeah, that's why a lot of for chromatic manufacture the components, like it'll be like black or gray or silver or something, just so it won't clash with whatever colors you have in the computer.
And then he's got one of those shoulder rests in front of the keyboard. I mean, not shoulder. What am I saying? Wrist rests. But it's got a nice little green strip at the top. I mean, in front.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a keyboard that had one of those things built in, but then the desk that I had it at had one built in too. So basically, you had a wrist rest over a wrist rest, and you're just like, where is?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. So yeah, that one wins. Congratulations.
You get a peanut.
Mm-hmm. So,
But by the way, how was your holidays and stuff, man? Did you get to do anything?
I was sick.
Didn't you go and see? Oh, you didn't go and see Solandra or nothing?
No, she came down she got to see Ohio during October and stuff. She was here for like 4 weeks then, and then after she left and the holidays came by, I got sick with
Oh shit.
good old UTI and/or kidney stone, and then
Oh yeah, I remember you were saying that before.
and so for like 2 weeks I was just on antibiotics and trying to stay hydrated, and then
Yeah.
I was feeling better. I went back to the office and I talked to a friend of mine. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got like a sinus infection or something." I'm like, "Oh great." And after being there 2 days, I got a head cold. So I just had all the nice nasal drip and cough starting. So I just basically had Robitussin and cough drops for like another 2, just laying in bed going, why can't I just stay healthy? Why? I just want to go somewhere and do stuff. Because being sick sucks because,
It
you
does.
want to rest, but you're like too wore out to, it's uncomfortable you can't sit straight, and then if you want to work on anything, you can't keep enough thoughts in your head. You're like, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's see, so that was Battlestations. We've declared the winner. Best one up in the world now. Is it time for news?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on. Trying to figure something to up higher. I just need like a little box or something.
Yep.
But what did you get for exchange gifts and stuff or something?
Uh, somewhat. I can't remember too much. Pretty much everyone just gave each other the dead presidents. Those were,
Oh yeah,
because it's like, sometimes like if you get somebody a gift card, you have to know that they'll like it. Otherwise it's like, oh. So,
yeah.
and my mom signed up for a gym, and she wanted me to sign up too. So it's like, okay. She's like, "Oh, you want to go with me with the gym today?" No. It's like, I was up late. I slept. It's like I did not feel like going to the gym. It's like I'm going to the office this day or that. I don't have time to do this.
New Year's resolutions, Ben. Come on, man.
I was telling her, I was like, you just picked the right time to want to join the gym. It's
Yeah.
like, why not wait? The 2 months till all the resolution people are gone, and then.
Yeah.
Oh well. What?
Anyways, you
Let's start on some news articles here.
Yeah. Tell us the news, not the olds. The news with Ian and Ben, just like old times.
tonight, the news.
I remember people were saying Barbara Walters should have hosted the New Year's Eve, so that way when the ball drops, she could go, "Hi, I'm Barbara Walters, and this is 2020."
Yeah. Okay, so first order of business here is I kind of figured that you would find this interesting here.
Eh?
And it is from Cartoon Brew. Cartoon Brew. Wacom introduces its most affordable tablet yet, the $400 Wacom One.
I mean, that title's a little incorrect. It's the most affordable screen tablet because you can get whatever the Bamboo or whatever the other one, replace that. But yeah,
Yeah, they're tablet monitors, or what do you call them? What's the correct thing? Digitizer or something?
yeah, just the straight digitizer without a screen. But they sell the three ranges. They've got the digitizers without a screen, digitizers with a screen, and then they've got the computer built into the digitizer with the screen.
Yeah.
Which is now the Studio Pro? that what they call them? Or it was Mobile Studio Pro, I think is what they were calling them.
I think
It got
so.
real confusing because they had that one that was kind of a PC, but it was like based on the arm of an Android arm or something. So like you could plug it into a desktop, but it was an Android. It wasn't. I don't know. I'm getting off topic here, so let's just
So
tell us about the one.
it's a 1080 and it's compatible with Mac, Windows, and some Android operating systems. It's important to note that this is not an all-in-one tablet like Apple's iPad or Microsoft Surface line. It's a drawing tablet that connects to a computing device. And the verdict is reviewers have been generally pleased, saying that it's decent entry-level users who aren't quite ready to commit to Wacom's more expensive options like the Cintiq. And they haven't seen. Hasn't been any animators that have reviewed it yet, but I mean, I'm sure it'll be. Some people will be talking about it. Maybe even Jazza will comment on about it. I was surprised to see Jazza. He's been, I have a Huey on drawing tablet, and he's been promoting a lot of that brand.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he has a Mobile Studio Pro, but then they also, when he got a deal with Huion, they sent him some stuff, and he's like, I really like these. These are very, very slick.
Yeah. Well, his real drawing screen, though, I call it real, is the Cintiq 27-inch. I think is basically his main thing, I guess, that you would rely on.
Yeah, for the day to day when he's drawing digitally, but I don't know what. I mean, as the question is, what's he doing? Is he drawing digitally these days, or is he drawing, on paper in front of the camera, or is he working on a big, like remember he did a piece with those sequin pillows and.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that was cool. I got my parents one of those, or my stepmom one of those for like Mother's Day or something like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so it's like, you want a big screen and everything, but then he's got all kinds, like he flies, to the U.S. for different stuff, and he uses certain different tablets. So, what is?
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on the
But
Wacom one here, Ian?
it looks pretty interesting. I was gonna ask too, like, what's Jazza? Does he do like a lot of animations, like in general? Is he like a freelance animator?
He was a freelance animator, but that slowly dried up as he pursued, like he moved from freelance, like he focused on game animation for a while and stuff, but then as that kind of dried up, he focused more on YouTube and tutorials because that was getting more traction. And
Yeah.
then once his channel got bigger, he focused less on tutorials because there were more of those on YouTube. So he was more of an overall general art kind of channel. So I think in his story, he launched like an animation like basics series, and I think he had another one that you could buy like outside of just the video tutorials and stuff. But it's yeah, he does a lot of interesting stuff. Con one, I've seen a few videos about it. They were talking about how it's 1080, and it's also I can't remember if they said the digitizer was different than the usual one to affect the cost. It was a different. I think it was a different one, and they also said that it's not the current like Cintiqs have like 8,000 something pressure sensitivity, and the Wacom one has more like the previous model, like the closer to the old Intuos, which they're like most people buying it for if you're getting a $400 screen tablet from Wacom, you're not going to be you're going to be like, this is the highest I've got to compare. You're not going to have the 27-inch to compare it to sit and after a certain point, it's like like depending on what you're plugging it into as well, because it works for certain Android devices. You could plug it into your laptop and it'd be a really nice upgrade. It's it's like a lot like the argument that once you get to 1200 DPI, nothing matters. And it's like pressure sensitivity, unless unless you have a really shaky hand and you need to use stabilizers, you're most likely not gonna you most likely don't use the light end of it anyway. So it's
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what is the pressure sensitivity of this? Because I don't even know.
well, last time I went to Wacom's website, it was giving me an error. I think they probably just announced it, and it was just too many people hitting it at the time, probably. Let's see. Check in the site now. Products. Okay, pen displays. We've got the Wacom one, and I will compare it to the 22 HD. That's another thing. They've got the HD versus the non HD.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then there's some that are touchscreen, which it's like, I don't know. Okay, features. Where are the pressure levels at here? Oh yeah, the paper-like, thing. I think it's supposed to be non-glossy. Let's see. I could be wrong. Oh yeah, you can also it detects different styluses, so you can use uh, I think certain Windows styluses with it, or Android styluses. So it doesn't just have to be the Wacom one, which is good if you have if you're if you have a lot of Android devices and already have pens around. It'd be a nice upgrade.
Yeah, it's always kind of been a mystery with how different, like styluses interface with it. Besides ones that are like Bluetooth, would be how those connect. But because some work with some don't. Some are battery powered and need some kind of battery signal on it.
Well, this one is the stylus is again battery free. They stress that on here. Let's see. Let's see. HDMI input. I think that was another issue. I might be remembering a different review though for a different product. So that's the thing. This is really designed to compete with Huion and what is it? Art Pen. What's the I don't know. There's various
XP Pen.
XP Pen. Yeah, there's competitors to Huion. I mean to Wacom's hand on the market. So they gotta try and okay, pen pressure levels. 4096. Okay, so that's in the Wacom one. And then let's see.
Isn't the standard Cintiqs just like their standard was just like 2048, right?
2048 on the Cintiq 22 HD.
Yeah.
Well, if it's going to have more than that, I mean more than the other one, you should advertise it. Because I mean that's the thing. Like right on they've got a circle for that right on the 22 HD screen. Yeah.
Well, what's crazy about a lot of these alternatives, like the Helions and other XP pens and stuff, is a lot of them boast like the 8,000 pressure sensitivity level. It's just like, damn.
I think let's see. There's the Wacom Cintiq Pro. Okay, so the Cintiq 22 HD. That's probably the oldest one. One of the older models. Because for pen okay.
Well, what's yours at?
Mine is the 21 UX. So I have. Oh. So I waited because there was an older gray model of the 21 UX, which was closer to the same pressure sensitivity of the Intuos 3, but I waited a few months till they made it equal with the Intuos 4, which doubled the pressure sensitivity.
Yeah.
And on pen displays, they've got Wacom 1, Cintiq 22 HD, Wacom Cintiq 16 and 22, and then Wacom Cintiq Pro. So I'm guessing the Pro is the highest end. Let's see, Cintiq Pro 13 available with 19. Okay, let's see.
I think so.
Yeah, that's the thing, is this whole naming situation is going to get very confusing. Oh yeah, this one takes the Wacom Pro Pen 2, which, has no battery charging, no parallax. It's a upgraded version of the pen. I'm trying to find pressure sensitivity. They probably got it way down at the bottom of the page. Let's see, Wacom Pro 3D pen sold separately, and a whole bunch of video links. Where? And then they've got the compare all products thing, of course. I don't want the overview. I want the specs. I go to the specs page. The other one, at least let me click the show all specs. Let's see. I don't know. I will. Well, they don't even show you the Cintiq one on the compare all the products to this one yet. So I don't know if the page needs to be updated or if they're just not wanting you to compare them. Let's see. Technology video. Okay, compare. And that just takes you right to the bottom. Okay, use. I'm pretty sure it's higher than the. Wasn't that the difference with the Pro? Okay, yeah, it has a 4K screen. 4K screens, world-class color performance, virtually no parallax, and then the Pen 2, the Wacom Pro Pen 2. We go to specific size, the 13, because that's what size the Wacom 1 is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then so the Pro has that touch interface, which most people don't use, because you know what I mean.
Otherwise, you need to wear those gloves where it has the two fingers cut out or whatever, so you can draw on it.
And the Pro has 8192 levels of pen pressure.
Oh, okay.
So that's the Pro. So the 22 HD is the oldest one. Do they not even have the 27-inch model anymore? Oh no, wait. The Pro went up to what size? Because I clicked the 13 just to get the specs for that one. They've got 13.
I think the Pro goes up to the
32.
30. Yeah.
It goes up to 32.
That's crazy.
So it's basically
that is a desk. That's a whole desk right there.
Yeah, it's a desk with legs. Which is, I mean, I like the photo of it they have on the screen. The screen. It looks like it'd be all nice and thin. It's like, no. I mean,
well, you gotta have room for the buttons, and it probably has all the function buttons and stuff on there too.
Oh, was it the 27 where it had like the two giant robot arms on the side just built in, and it could clap clank your fingers. So, oh yeah, the Express Key remote puts 17 programmable buttons within easy reach because nobody wants to get to their keyboard when they've got a huge 32-inch device. Oh man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about doing for my drawing monitor because I have one of those Flark things where you could use any infrared remote and program each button or whatever.
Oh, there's the Ergo stand with the Wacom Ergo stand. Yeah, it sends for the 24-inch or the 32-inch. It allows you to raise, tilt, and use your pen display to easily adjust. It's basically saying this thing is really heavy, so we're gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, the one comes with basically like a stand, like a kickstand in the back, right? I mean,
right.
So for what it is, it's a I mean, a 13-inch display for like $400 for a Wacom. I mean, that's not that
pretty
bad.
damn good, I would say.
That's not that bad, but it's like it makes me wonder, about the pricing of their product line now, because it's like they've still got the Cintiq 22 HD. Why have it they've got this So what's the difference between the non-pro 20? Okay, so they've got the Cintiq 22 HD, they've got the Cintiq 22, and then they've got the Cintiq Pro 22. Like, what is the difference between all three of those? Like,
It's pretty confusing.
yeah, it's like the whole HD. They're like, well, is it touch sensitive or does it do like I know the Pro is 4K, but what does 8 HD? Is that just back when they first started doing 1920? I don't.
It stands for higher dollar.
Yeah, that is. I'm I am very confused even. And it's like, well, I'm gonna take a look real quick. What's the pressure sensitivity on the non-pro Cintiq 22? Like, okay, Qualcomm Cintiq, explore size options. So you've got the 16 and the 22, 28 by 1080. So that one's full HD. So,
No,
oh,
it's just
oh,
640 by 480. So it's
no, check this out. The Cintiq 22 HD and 22 HD Touch.
Hmm.
It's basically, remember when Windows had like 15 different versions of Windows? You know, there was the Windows Vista Home, Windows Vista Enterprise. You know, it's like what? It's like you just
That's the thing is they try to market things for different people. You know, they really try to squeeze a dollar out of people.
yeah, and that's the problem. Is like I applaud this Wacom one, but it's like it's another naming standard that they're going to have to change the whole line at some point because it's like what is different about the Cintiq 22 HD Touch, the regular Cintiq 22, and the Cintiq 22. I mean the Cintiq Pro 22. Like those are four different computers. You know, or six. I don't even. I'm losing count. I'm losing count. Those are so many different computers. What are what? And the average person's not going to know. So they're going to order one and go, "Oh, I wanted this to have this," or it's going to have touch sensitivity, and they're going to go, "Well, I didn't want that," and have to turn it off or ask for a refund. So it's like,
At least Apple is a lot more consistent with their stuff. Like you have the iPad and iPad Pro, and it's obvious what the differences are usually, right?
well, sort of. I mean, they've run into issues too because they had the Apple Pencil and now they've got the Apple Pencil 2, and they did a similar
Oh,
thing
really?
where they released a $300 iPad, but it only works with the old pencil, and it's like, okay, so this is a new
Mm.
device, but it only works with the old pencil, and people are going to get confused with that, and yeah, it's yeah.
Well, it's just like the what is it? The iMac Pro now they have. It's an iMac, but it's a Pro version.
Well, I mean, that's basically, I can at least understand that because it's like the Mac Pro is now, you want something that costs like 10 grand out of the gate. No, I just want a tower. No, you want something that costs 10 grand out of the gate and you can customize it, right? No, I just,
Did you hear about the $200 wheels now? You can get with it.
I don't know. I remember the $1,000 monitor stand. So,
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I use Apple products, but some of their stuff is ridiculous. You know, it's it's the same way of like I buy their stuff from other places, not directly from them, because I don't need them to take all my money. And with Wacom, it's very similar with this. It's like I applaud the idea of introducing a lower tier. I mean, remember when they had the 13WX, the smaller, that was a smaller Cintiq, but it was like $600.
Yeah.
But it's nowadays that's still, I don't know. I applaud the idea, but I think they really need to go through the whole line now and have really easy to tiers of, this is for beginner people, this is for this is more, because once you start you can buy the different tech in different sizes, because back in the day, a laptop, you figure the MacBook and the MacBook Pro, that tells you which one is higher end, and it's like now you've got a Wacom Cintiq and a Wacom Cintiq Pro, it's like, well, what is really the difference? Well, one does 4K and also this and that.
Yeah.
So it's
Would you ever
yeah.
be surprised if Apple bought Wacom and started doing all their lines? Apple buys it, the screens, you know.
Well, I don't see that happening because their digitizers are in so many Windows products. You know, I mean, for the longest time, they're like, is Apple even going to make a tablet? Oh, the iPhone is different from you know, like, oh, they made the pad. You know, for a long time, it was going to be the iTablet, and it's like, nope, it's the iPad. Really? No. So,
iTab.
but yeah, I can see that this is, you know, the Qualcomm is smelling that there's a lot. They've been losing a lot of the market. You know, just basically like Adobe did. You know, when people are like, nope, not paying for for cloud only products. So I'm going to all these other things. And it's now the tech from XP Pen and Huion and various other things are really catching up. You know, it's like they need, you know, Wacom are going to have to justify their higher price. I think so. This is good. Competition is good all around. I'd say.
Well, how did any of this they had like when you? How much is your screen? Is it still like over $1,000 still?
I haven't.
And that was like 10 years ago.
Well, the thing is, when people buy a Wacom, they hold on to it. So you will find people selling older devices and still thinking they can get, you know, a decent price on it. It's like, I mean, this is too, whenever they release a new model that people are, you know, trying to unload their old one, but they're still trying to get it at like new price. And it's like, you're like, no, I'm not buying this older, you know, the one model down for $4,000. You know, it's like, it's not happening. So,
Well, and I know that their stuff is really good quality and it probably lasts pretty long, but it's still boy, they're not getting anything like from aliens or whatever. It's still going to break down over time and use, you know, just on the circuitry level, I guess.
see, I just checked Google and eBay. I'm seeing 99 used, 89.99 used. So I'm seeing one at 129. So some people not, you know, no pen, no stand. So yeah, let's see, and then there's 159.99. So depending on the quality it's in and how much stuff you have, it looks to be within the $100-ish plus range.
Well, if you were to take a brand new monitor of theirs and then a monitor that was 10 years older, I'm sure the 10-year older one is you're going to be able to tell it's going to be a little bit dimmer, at least I would think, you know,
Yeah, well,
depending on what kind of screen it is.
yeah.
Like if it's IPS or whatever, or LED.
I don't know, man. I like my device. So, I mean, right now, I would be looking into a newer computer more so than, you know, that because, you know, my computer's been end of life. You know, it's only gonna get more harder to, you know, maintain at this point. But, you know, a Wacom is still gonna be, you know, a Cintiq is still a Cintiq for a good long while, and the 21UX is still a pretty good size. So,
Yeah, I mean, it was an investment for you, you know.
well, as long as I've had it, you know, it's been an investment and it's been a good one. So,
Yeah.
so anyway, that's that news story. What's news story number 2? Numero dos.
Numero dos. Yeah. Well, speaking of Apple, here since we were talking about it,
Uh-oh.
jury orders Apple to fork over $85 million in royalties for Wii Land suit. A San Diego jury ruled this week that Apple must pay Quarterhill Inc.'s Wii Land a cool $85 million in a patent infringement case that's been ping-ponging around the courts since 2014. Wheelan, a Canadian tech developer, has been lobbying similar lawsuits at the biggest names in tech for the better part of a decade now, to varying degrees of success over its patents for Bluetooth and other wireless communication technology. Apple hinged on two of its patents concerning downloading data while simultaneously making phone calls that Bloomberg reported. Another jury in 2018 previously ruled that Apple owed Wheelan even more, total of $145 million in royalties based on iPhone sales per routers. However, after Apple later disputed Wheelan's method of calculating this rate and asked the courts to reconsider the damages, U.S. District Judge of Southern California sided with Apple's contention and gave Wheelan an ultimatum: accept a flat rate of $10 million in royalties or go through the entire trial process again. The company understandably chose the latter.
Well, I mean, Apple.
Yeah, I mean,
Apple are one of the richest companies on the planet, so I don't think this is a very big worry for them.
Well, it does say it's it's pennies in the scale of what Apple brings in. You know, the company netted $64 billion in revenue in the last quarter of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah.
So I mean, basically, it's like they kept this one through the courts to get it whittled down to the least it is, and they
Yeah.
and it's like, well, I mean, I don't know the details of the case. It's been going on since 2014, so that's
Yeah, and Apple's been in that. They're always in some kind of court case with some other tech company, you know.
well, they're a big company, so that's why like nobody cares
Yeah.
about the smaller guys, but the people bringing in billions every year. It's like, well, yeah, they want their piece of that pie, and if however the patent was infringed upon, I mean, I don't know the details of it, so but yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
Interesting story. Not much, to say about it.
Yeah, not much. It's not really much new as far as just
A current update on the latest.
lawsuit, you know. Yeah. Okay, here's an interesting one. YouTube's content might contractually acknowledge that the job can give them PTSD. The contractors charged with keeping YouTube clean from the vile forms of content that surface on the platform are reportedly being coerced to sign agreements acknowledging that the job could have a severe impact on their mental health, seemingly making any job-related fallout the responsibility of the workers rather than the responsibility of Google or YouTube. The Verge reported Thursday that employees working for the company Accenture, which handles content moderation for YouTube, has quote-unquote ordered reviewers for YouTube to sign an agreement that some content they see on this job may impact my mental health, and it could even lead to PTSD. According to a copy of the document obtained by the site, the agreement containing the language about the potential for PTSD was reportedly distributed to employees just days before a disturbing December report from The Verge about the often severe emotional and mental toll of viewing hell feed of horrific videos all day, every day. In a statement by email, the spokesperson for the company told ask new hirees to review and sign these types of documents, and seemed to insinuate that the agreement was simply redistributed for reasons that are unclear. Yeah, and there. So this is basically they're reissued to existing personnel, but
consequences for not signing the updated document.
But obviously, I think if you're going to be new there, I think you do have to sign to be able to get the job.
Well, I mean, I understand it. It's entirely so that they say, so this way you can't sue us for causing you, a big debilitating condition.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense that they're going to try and do that, whether or not they have the right or the legal ability to do those things. Well, that's going to be that's going to be the main issue there.
Yeah, it's just
I mean,
it's gotten that bad.
well, I mean, there is the concern of what kind of content and how people that are exposed to it, how do they respond? Because I mean, I saw a mini documentary about a group in I think it was India, where they have people on. It was for Facebook, where they go through and see what content is appropriate and isn't, and they were explaining, like, does the like this one doesn't have nudity, but you can clearly see the guy has as a woody, and they were describing, like, like,
Yeah,
they were describing all the really gross stuff that you could see of stuff that, like, why would you share that? And it's like they're the people that have to sit there and moderate it and go through and report it and explain, well, this is inappropriate because of X, Y, and Z. So, I mean, it's one of those things that realistically, when you have it on a global scale, and you're hiring, smaller, branching this all out to different companies, it's like eventually somebody's going to see something and go, man, that messed me up all those years ago. And they're gonna want, they don't want this to come back to them. And it's like, well, they know that. I mean, the fact that this shows up in an agreement that they want people to sign shows that they're worried for a reason. Either somebody has said something before about PTSD, or somebody said that, hey, this kind of stuff is similar to stuff that people who've come down with PTSD have had experienced. So
Yeah. Well, it also said that the contractor must take, quote unquote, take full advantage of the We Care program and seek additional mental health services if needed, requiring them to agree to tell my supervisor and or HR people's advisor if I believe that the work is negatively affecting my mental health. The site further reported that the document is listing a hotline, human resources, and a non-physician wellness coach as resources available to content moderators.
well, yeah, but if a moderator reports to their boss that, hey, this stuff is affecting my mental health, then they're going to be very likely a person that's going to lose their job. So that puts them in an awkward position.
Yeah. Right. So basically, they're saying that you're supposed to take care of it. Basically, if you're getting,
They're trying to. They basically want you to report when it happens, but then it gets it in the system. It's not. This doesn't guarantee that the person that it's affecting them is going to be moved somewhere where it won't be affecting them, and they can safely still get paid for their
yeah.
Which it's like YouTube trying to cover their butt when hiring contractors that they can't be responsible for all the health coverage, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's understandable,
I mean, it's understandable to a degree. It's understandable until it becomes non-understandable. It's like, as a person that would could understand owning a business, it's like you want to be able to cover yourself from any potential lawsuits. Like, I remember the Seinfeld writers, they talked about all kinds of adult content, and then somebody tried to sue them for inappropriate content in the work, conversation in the workplace, and they're like, well, when you signed up for an adult show talking about adult topics, you can expect adult content and conversation. And it's like, to one extent, if you're going through and moderating all this obscene stuff, you need to acknowledge that you're going to see stuff. It's like when cops, have to go see horrible things every day. After a while, it's like, any average person, that's going to put a stress on their mental well-being, and they should be talking to therapists and making sure that they're doing okay and checking in with them. But for the extent of the best for those people, not for the company. So,
right. Well, at that point, you almost might as well just have them sign a non-arbitration thing or whatever you call it, so that they just can't sue you at all for anything.
well, that's another thing is
That's
like
what some companies have been doing too, like games companies.
well, that's the thing is like non-arbitration, arbitration is like for one, being arbitrated by a third party is different than being sued. And they're like, who picks that third party? The company. Versus you agree not, non-arbitration, you agree that, you agree not to sue and not even bother with, So
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
And if that's the agreement, I would highly recommend that you look if you have to agree to that.
well, I mean, just think of all the stuff YouTube expects you to agree to already. That your
Yeah.
content is so, they're like, we're not lawyers and we can't give you legal advice. So if you don't think, you should probably hire a lawyer. And like, really, I should hire a lawyer just because I decided to start a YouTube channel because you guys can't have to pull the switch that everything has to be adult or for kids, that there's no general audience. I don't know.
Yeah. And you could be sued by the government too.
Well, I was
Like
watching
$40,000 per infraction now.
as I said on my podcast recently, and I linked to a video where there's this lawyer who talks about it. He's like, they say they're like basically taking the stance that people who run their channel, they're in charge of their channel, and it's like, well, no, because they don't get to pick the advertisers that run on their thing. YouTube does. They don't.
Yeah.
YouTube has all these levers where they can pull and delete your account and do all. All that goes through YouTube and then to the people who have the account. It's not. It's like it's not like somebody. If you just have your website and you put stuff up, that's yours. You're in control of that. But if you have an account on this, they could shut you down, and it's like you're not really. I don't know.
And the thing is their language too is very vague, and that's usually on purpose so that it's not abused or whatever. People try to find ways around it. Like.
Well, it's not binding. It's like they're not lawyers and they want to say you have to do all this at your own discretion, and it's very we know when we see it kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Well, like they won't even share how their algorithm works, so people don't abuse it.
Well, because it changes constantly. So.
Yeah, that too.
So. Any other news stories, Ian?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Mac users are getting bombarded by laughingly unsophisticated malware.
Oh boy.
For malware so tried and crude, Schrader is surprisingly prolific. I don't know what that means, but fast instance of Schrader, a piece of Mac malware that gets installed by tricking targets into installing fake Adobe Flash updates. Usually does so after promising pirated videos, which are also fake. The lure may be trite and easy to spot, but continues to be common, so much so that it's the number one threat encountered by users of Kaspersky Labs antivirus programs for Mac OS. Since Slayer first came to light in February 2018, Kasper have collected almost 32,000 different variants and identified 143 separate domain operators have used to control infected machines. The malware accounts for 30% of all malicious detections generated by the Kaspersky Labs Mac AV products. Attacks are most common against U.S. users, who account for 31% of attacks. Kaspersky Labs sees Germany with 14%, and France and the UK both with 10% followed. Yeah, Slayer remains surprisingly prolific.
I find that interesting that it's such a crude old way to try and get people to download it, and it's on Flash, which modern browsers aren't going to support anymore, and it's on Macs. Those free stats, it's like, huh.
Yeah. The file downloaded by the Python variant Kaspersky Lab analyzes and installs adware known as SymPy or whatever. It ostensibly offers to install applications such as any search, which is indicated by search results, is clearly a program no one should want. Behind the scenes, it installs a malicious Safari extension and a tool that includes a self-signed TLS certificate that allows the extension to view encrypted
Yeah, it's just you just really get nowadays. You just got to be smart, with what you're doing and places you go to,
Well,
online.
I mean, ever since I got a Mac, I was getting all kinds of, like I'd be on Skype and then get your Windows is infected. And I'm like, really? I don't want to tell them
Yeah.
because fun. it's the same thing. It's like if you go to sketchy sites and you go to the sites with like the 15 download buttons and it's like one of these isn't a virus. Guess which one? It's like,
Well, it's hard too. Like even normal sites like CNET or download.com or whatever that are supposed to be safe, I guess, have just to be able to get to a download there's like five download buttons. It's like which is the right one?
yeah, and then all they need is one of those sites to get compromised, and then it's like, yeah. I don't know, man. It's all a matter of you just need, people need to be smart about it. And unfortunately, people, people with Macs aren't, they're more simple computers, so they're not, don't tend to be very tech savvy, so they don't take the time. And it's like basically
They're meant
anything
to
that
be more
says,
idiot proof.
well, basically anything that says, hey, I need to update your Adobe Flash. Really? Do you? What's next? You gonna update my Java?
Well, it's just like those robocalls now that like I get all the time, and
Oh
like
yeah,
they'll
my
be
dad.
like the IRS is about to come and arrest you or whatever if you don't pay, and it's like if first of all you got to know that they're that an actual government agency or debt collector, they're going to call you personally or they're going to call you. They're going to send you. They're probably going to send you stuff in the mail instead. It's not going to be some automated shit.
Yeah, it's just, that's the thing about spam and, scams like that is they only need one person to bite and it costs them nothing to send it out. And, my dad goes off complaining about, robocalls all the time, and halfway through his rant, he gets another one. So,
Well, I just got a call the other day saying that my Apple account has been hijacked or whatever, and press 1 or 2 or whatever for this and that, and it's like I don't even have an Apple account, or an iPhone or anything.
yeah, my dad gets one that's saying that, like, oh, his credit cards are all in trouble. Really? I don't have any right now. Or, oh, hey, your student loan debt, we can help you with it. Well, that's great. So,
It will get your student debt down to nothing.
I don't know. That is in itself is another thing. I was reading quotes from people that, like, they have 30K in loans they've been paying for 10 years and now they owe 31K. So anyway,
Student loan debt bubble.
I'm glad I graduated when I did, man. It's gone up like 4,000% since we graduated. So
Yeah,
all right. So
but this one's kind of similar. This is Microsoft's sneaky plan to switch Chrome from Google to Bing.
I've seen they've done that before. Like, they like they would change your homepage to Microsoft.com, and or they'd switch your browser to IE for the longest time. It's like, really?
Yeah, I had something that I normally use Firefox, and I had some kind of thing where it had to been some kind of bug or something that was injected into my browser because I tried totally different methods to try to I uninstalled a bunch of extensions that it could have been in. I looked online and stuff, and I tried updating and stuff, and it's kept redirecting my search to Bing, but it wasn't like a normal Bing. It was like a Bing with a whole bunch of random numbers and characters and the address.
Yeah, where it can collect your information and also, any money from searches that you do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. I like every so often when my dad's having computer problems and I have to go and I go to his thing and it's got all those added, search bars and it's just like, let me just remove these for you. You click something you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Microsoft announced today that beginning in February 2020, Office 365 Pro Plus installs and updates will include a Chrome extension that forcibly changes the default search engine to Microsoft's own search engine, Bing.
That's some bullshit, man.
Well,
at least it's an extension and it should be easy to uninstall.
It's not the first time we've heard there's some BS out, but yeah, that's why would you force changes on somebody else's system? That's none of your business.
But people aren't using our Edge browser. We need more traffic.
Not even an Edge thing. That's Bing.
Yeah, but they're like, people aren't using our stuff, man.
Sucks to be them, man.
Well, did you know that, like, the search thing too? I learned, the little there's like a little you could do, how in Windows you could click the search thing down by the your start button, and you could search for programs you have installed, or it'll even do it'll search on the web also at the same time, and that's powered by Bing itself.
Well, of course it is. That's built into the operating system. I just find it funny that like the search on your browser, because so many people just type stuff into the URL, the home bar, but it's like there's still that little search thing up there, and like and that can be tied to certain search engines, and
go ahead. I'm sorry.
It can just be tied to certain search engines, and people. I've seen viruses and stuff that'll like run ads and stuff and get the money from the ads from you searching that little search bar.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's why I never use those things, because it's like, why? Right. I go to google.com or I just type it in the home bar, which is also a giant search bar. It doesn't need a search bar.
Yeah. I know.
Know. But then there's the people that go to Google to search for Facebook.
Right.
Facebook.com. My grandson Nathan. No.
Yeah. But anyways, let's move on to some
gaming
news.
Oh.
Yeah. By the way, did you hear? We did an article last week about. Did you hear? Apple was trying. There was rumors of them coming out with like $5,000 gaming desktop or whatever.
I'd heard rumors. I thought that they were supposed to be like looking at doing a console or something.
I don't know. Here's the article I was talking about though.
Okay.
Apple to launch a $5,000 gaming PC, but don't get your hopes up. They said we're suspicious of these claims. The rumors come from Chinese site Economic Daily via Tech Radar, citing market reports. Not only is Apple said to be releasing a $5,000 gaming machine, but the device will supposedly mark the company's entrance into the esports market. Yeah, and basically they're saying that it's going to be like it's going to be like an iMac with a high-end discrete GPU or a large screen laptop similar to the 16-inch MacBook Pro.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense for the simple fact of what would you play on it? I mean, yes, Steam works on, Mac OS, but it's like, you know, they. I mean, it would make more sense for them to, do like a good old games or Steam like thing, and make some,
Yeah.
and have other publishers and them, people make games first before trying to get into the gaming market because, you know, is it unless it came with Windows, really, what's the point?
Right. I don't know. I just thought that'd be crazy, man. That's like this. Isn't that the same price as the base model for the new Mac Pro?
I thought that was like 10 grand or something. I don't know.
No, it's the base. I think was like
Let me take a
somewhere
look.
around 5, and they had an article about if you fully spec it out, it'd be like 50 grand or something.
Well, I mean, if you just go for a fully spec'd out Apple Watch, it's insane. Okay, so the Mac Pro, uh, the defaults here are. Oh boy, you don't need to try and sell me on it, guys. Let me just. I'll tick the buy button. How about that? Let me just.
Oh yeah, a fully spec'd out Mac Pro will cost you about 52,000.
Come on, guys.
Come on.
Watch the film. No, I don't want to watch the film. This is 2020, guys. Come on. You know better than this. Okay, Mac Pro Tower from 5,999, so six grand.
Yeah.
Mac Pro Rack from 6,499.
A Mac Pro what?
Rack.
Oh yeah.
So I like it. Get 3% daily cash with Apple Card, or get special financing. 3%. Man, come on. 3%. That's funny.
Dude, really?
Okay. I mean,
All right, but
I remember at one point they were like the best gaming laptop though was a Mac because if you took either you ran uh what is that thing where you basically install Windows on different partition
Isn't that a
you run
boot
boot
camp?
camp or if you just install Windows on it, it beat a lot of basic laptops.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
What was this?
Google Stadia.
oh no, that was last week's. What was your opinion on the Google Stadia though?
Maybe they're the ones that I was thinking were supposed to be launching a console. But what are your thoughts on it? Because I don't know anything about it other than I don't know. It's like another one of Google's weird ideas where it's like,
Yeah. Well, first of all, you have the latency problem, and not everybody has like a really good internet connection, you know. And the thing that Doug didn't like is you didn't own all of your stuff, so like if it's if you do something Google doesn't like, then they'll just cut off all your games, or if like what Google's done. A lot of people are worried about what since Google is abandoning a lot of shit, like Google Plus or whatever they've hyped up, and then it just gets it'll probably just get abandoned, and that'll suck for everybody that was invested in it.
it just makes me think of that. I don't remember if it was a news story or just through the rumor mill where they're talking about Google Glass, how that was a thing for a while, and they quietly tucked it away, and they were talking about make it into like a smart contact, and they're like, that's a great idea. Take it from a glass and put it right on your eye.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm. Is a news story for a day or
No, this is for tonight. Yeah,
okay?
Nintendo doesn't have to refund digital pre-orders according to a European court,
But the case
but
has
the
been.
case, yeah, it's been appealed.
So Nintendo fans in Europe got some bad news this week. A new court ruling sided with Nintendo's ongoing practice to not let users cancel digital pre-orders via Nintendo Everything. according to Norwegian gaming site Pressfire, the consumer authorities of Norway and Germany sued Nintendo for not letting users cancel digital pre-orders purchased from the eShop. The case went to court at the end of the last year. This week, the court ruled in favor of Nintendo, meaning it can continue the practice for now. Pressfire reports that the German Consumer Authority has appealed the ruling.
So basically, they started in Norway, and then it got shut down, and they took it to Germany, and got shut down in Germany too.
Also in PlayStation. I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, pre-orders. It's kind of one of those things. It's like you get what you get when you pay for pre-orders. I mean, getting refunds this day and age, it makes sense. I can see them. I mean, for one, every company has to watch their back, so I understand them doing it. But then also considering the way people will exploit the system, and pre-order a thing, and it's
Yeah. Well, I guess they had ruled that because they ruled in favor of Nintendo because I guess technically Nintendo argued that you downloaded the game or whatever when you bought it, and even though I guess you couldn't play it until it launches or whatever, but since you downloaded actual files or whatever, I guess they considered it.
You did technically buy something, so there's no point in returning it if you have the file and can crack it or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. I mean, pre-orders are kind of, they're a bit of a, I mean, I know for like the different, the people involved in, the developer studios and everything, it's like pre-orders help them, get more money from publishers and everything, but it's like, I can't tell you the last time I was excited to pre-order anything because I'm going to be paying more for something to get it on day one when it's going to be its most buggy.
Right. Oh yeah, that's a lot of things. Like the Fallout game. Like the Fallout 76 that Frank played. It's kind of still in beta. People are the beta testers basically.
Well, I mean, I get games on Steam that are early access that'll stay in early access for like 2-3 years. So.
Yeah, if you buy a console, you're kind of beta testing that for a while, and then it's basically you got to download like an update every day, because they fix everything. They have to fix everything on it. So like that's how it'll be when you get the new Xbox or the PS5 or whatever. I'm sure.
Oh man,
it'll take an hour to download an update.
So tell us about Sega's new app that lets you remotely win prizes from a real claw machine in Japan.
Freemium fun for the family. If you've ever wanted to play around in a claw machine without all the hassle of leaving your house or even standing up, technology has come through for you. Sega has launched a new mobile app, Sega Capture Online, that lets you do exactly that. Play on a real-life claw machine, also known as via a video feed on your phone. Also, the machine is literally located in Japan, and if you win something, it'll be delivered to you free of charge. But that doesn't mean you don't have to pay to win. Prizes include fishies, pillows, or plushies, pillows, towels, and other anime-based collectibles. And a go on the machine costs between 100 and 200 Sega points. 130 points will cost you $2, although you can buy more at a discount. You can practice for free. You can also earn points for other activities such as logging in regularly, linking your phone, and so on. 100 and a go. Huh.
Man, that's an expensive claw machine, then, man. $2 for a try at it. But I just thought it was cool because, yeah, it's interesting that they have a centralized
thing that you could actually do from your phone, you know, and
I
it'd
think
be
I
like,
think it makes sense to like connect gaming with a real life thing, especially for people that are like, actual arcade games and stuff.
yeah,
Especially when you throw in the fact that like you could win a thing. It's like people at that point that makes sense because it's like you're playing for you could play a virtual claw machine forever and then win a virtual plushie, or you can actually get a real plushie from this one machine.
yeah.
You know,
And you can practice for free too, which is
yeah.
pretty cool.
It all ignores the fact that you know how you win at a claw machine is to just put more money in it and the grip gets better. So
Dude, dude, when that first launches, man, how are they're gonna have to have like thousands of claw machines because everybody's unless if you got to wait for your turn or something, you know.
I don't know, man. It depends. For all we know, they could just be renting out the claw machines from an arcade that's just not using them.
That's true too. Or it'd be like if it's a warehouse full of them. What's your job? Oh, I'm stocking and I'm stocking the new claw machine, the thousands of claw machines here. I got to walk up and down the aisles.
Well, it's like they're in Japan, so it's like that's where Sega is, and it's like who knows? Maybe they had a department that made a whole crap load of claw machines, and then the bottom fell out the buying market for them there. Or maybe somebody has like a building full of claw machines, and they're just like, we got to figure out what to do with these. So
Yeah. Well, it's something I'm surprised Sega did or any kind of like major company because it's kind of like an idea you would see on like Kickstarter or something, you know?
considering the fact that Sega is basically a software company now, and it's like
Yeah.
I could see them doing that. What's to keep them from going out and having sponsored claw machines that like Pokemon stuff, then sponsored like people love getting stuff from Japan. If you got like a little snack treat thing or a plushie or and you go through the whole you want it. It's like I think it's kind of cute and a good thing because it's like it brings back a little tactile stuff and real world element to it because it's like you play
Yeah.
video games forever, but it's like playing a physical game you can win a thing, and it's like well now
Well, it's just like when you have a camera hooked up to like an RC car or something, and you're using your phone for that. It's basically like a video game, but you're driving a
oh I
real
saw
car or whatever, you know.
a post on Reddit recently where a guy had like a projector in a room. So like he was sitting there, he had like the controller hooked to like a wheel, but it was the thing was just driving around his room with a camera. So like he was Toy Story tall. It's like that looks like a fun game.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
yeah, we'll see how the launch goes and how if it's kind of buggy or whatever, you know.
I think it's a cute idea. They're definitely going to make enough money from people using it to cover the free shipping because
Yeah,
more people are going to you play it and it's like, well, that money's already going in. You might as well let them actually win a thing. So,
yeah. Well, I could see like if you depending on how much the shipping is or whatever. I don't know, does it say anything about shipping? Like if I were to have those things shipped to me, I'd be like, I'd wait till can win like 10 of them or something, and then have like a whole box of them instead of
oh,
like
well,
be like, oh, I'll ship this, ship that, you know?
you say that, man, but it's like how long it's going to take. I'll bet you how many times that claw machine. Because have you ever used a real life claw machine? Most of the time, you don't get anything. So, it's
Yeah,
it's carnival games. Like the odds, like, oh, don't worry, that stuffed teddy bear, he's nailed up there. He ain't going nowhere. He's been here 5 years, man.
uh,
So, but I think it's a cute idea. Why not?
yeah,
Heck, if they had a way for you to like, get a vending machine, to use the Japanese vending machines, like I'd love to get one of those like cool cucumber drinks or whatever. If that could get sent here free shipping, just punch that in.
Yeah,
Why
that'd be
not?
nice. Well, it's kind of like what are those? Don't they have those giant car vending machines now or whatever, where you could they has like the
Customize
whole
the car.
building is like a window or whatever.
Well, I was watching a video from this one tech guy, and he was talking about how he bids on stuff in Japanese auctions, and he has to go through like a third party where they're in Japan, and he bids on, and they bid on the thing for him, and then ship it to him, and of course they get their cut of it, but that way he doesn't have to worry about paying, so much for shipping and dealing with, being a foreigner and the whole timing, and I don't know.
The only
It's
thing is, I wonder if there's gonna be people that will troll this thing. So like they'll just try to pick up the thing and then like move it somewhere else to make it harder for other people. Like if it's
Well,
something good, you have people like because I'm sure there's gonna be varying things or whatever. So like if you have something good, then people just take the crappy thing and just bury it over the good thing.
I don't know, man. I mean, that's a matter of how people are, man. Just a matter of the whole community
Yeah,
aspect of it. I mean, if it's all randomized and whatnot, who knows? I mean, what if you get a guy who's a skilled pro claw guy? When's the lawsuit going to come out that no, I definitely had that. I definitely shouldn't have got it. I should have gotten it. The claw just because claw machines,
yeah.
man,
And
those
how
things need to be regulated anyway.
well, how often are they going to stock it too? That's the question. It's like, all right, well, if they don't stock it that often, then it's like, all right, is it better just to wait towards the end?
I mean,
Because I'm sure that's what people are going to wait is wait till it's like really easy.
I mean, that does bring the question, like, what would happen if there was just a variation of this game where it was a virtual claw machine, but they sent you a real thing if you won something? Like, is that, the aspect of it being a real thing there that, like, I can get that one, like, not just a Pikachu, or a pillow, you're physically seeing the thing that you're vying for, like, versus, like, you know, a virtual, a virtual claw machine that doesn't really exist, but they send you a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. So yeah, it's a cool story. Cool story.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's my last article. This one is more of just like a article. It's GTA 6, all the rumors in one place.
Yeah, rumor place. Woo!
Rumor train. The evidence. It seems that the game definitely exists in some form. Recently, GTA 6 was listed on an artist's resume working out of India. Rockstar has acquired another large studio in India from struggling Starbreeze, which suggests that Rockstar is staffing up on our resources for its next big game. The seemingly official in-game announcement saying that GTA 6 was due out in 2019 turned out to be fake. However, they also talk about Rockstar's UK tax relief filing points to possible GTA 6 development. Yeah. So, and then they're talking about the setting, and they're basically saying that one place could be, like London or whatever. But most likely it'll be like Vice City, Miami.
Mm.
Let me search for the London.
I mean, how many people are really eager for the next GTA? Like,
I'm sure a lot of people, but a lot of people are online aspect of it. It's like they added like new casinos and new cars and different modes and shit to it. It's crazy.
well, I'm just, thinking it's like, if they came out with, more updates, for the 5, like Rockstar, they take their time rolling stuff out. They don't
like, oh, go ahead.
they don't need to come out with a 6 until they decide to.
Well, do you think we'll eventually get to games where it's like there's not really a need to make a whole new game, but just add to it or like add another city to it or whatever? Because there was speculation on them putting all three like remakes, like Vice, the
Vice
five,
World,
yeah,
GTA
the
World.
yeah,
Well,
just put
I
them
mean,
all access together, and it's like eventually you just need new, like update the graphics, but and also add more missions and different storylines. Is like if you had the whole Earth model, you wouldn't have a need to
well, I mean,
like change it.
you're basically arguing the whole Sims issue because remember Sims 3 and Sims 4, it's like they decided to roll out Sims 4 and they're like, well, I mean, it looks graphically updated, but it's like everyone's like, well, where's the stuff? Because we had all this stuff in 3 and there were, modders and people that made their own stuff for it. So like you had a whole bunch of stuff and then 4 they're like, no, we're walling the garden off and you got to start fresh. And it took them like a long time to even introduce some stuff that you had already in the previous games, and it's just like, the issue is, well, why? It's like there are people that they're like, I'm still on Sims 3 because I had all the stuff I wanted. I didn't have to. So I don't know. I mean, because like all the games are very different experiences. And it's like if you're a big playing online person, at some point it might make sense to have them all packed together. Although, when I go to Vice City and when I go to, was it San Andreas? It's like, those are very different experiences. I haven't played 5. I mean, just because I'm not a big console guy these days, and it's, it's not. I don't know. I haven't seen anything, that makes me interested in it. I mean, but when you think about it, things like games like Minecraft. Minecraft is basically just an engine at this point. It's like, they updated and they're like, oh, we've added, mer people and we've added this stuff, but like people are modding it and doing stuff and they don't really need to change anything about it. You don't need to give the new graphics update to Minecraft. It's just people put mods in it, people do whatever they want, they make their own server with all kinds of packs and do all kinds of stuff they want with it. It's not about the game at this point. It's like, oh hey, they added new features. Cool. I bought my account and I played the game and I made a whole new world. Yeah, that's like.
They did a mod for GTA 5 here where they put the whole Vice City in there and into the new engine or whatever, and like all the textures are redone and stuff, and it's like everything is high quality. It's pretty crazy because it was like a whole team of modders that worked on it, like in their spare time.
Yeah, I've seen. There are people that remake entire games and remaster entire games and stuff. The only issue is like if they were to officially launch something like that, how long would it be until like, yeah, but we need Red Dead in here. Yeah, but we, it's like it's just, not like how long until you get the next thing,
Yeah.
So it's like that's why I say like, do we really need 6 shit? Do we have any ideas? Has there been any hint of where it would be and what would make it interesting?
Yeah. Hold on, let me exit out of that. They do give
A couple things. Like I said, they mentioned back in 2013, Dan Houser suggested that there's still some interest in London as a setting, even if it doesn't end up as being part of the Grand Theft Auto series. Yeah, it could be spread between Vice City and South America. Wild Christian Today rumor roundup of guesses that a 60s London setting and time travel. Rumored to be set between. Yeah, it'll be set in Vice City and a new city based on Rio de Janeiro. Rumored to be set between 1970 and 1980, and the main character is mixed up with the drug trade. The game may feature drug empire mechanics inspired by Vice City. The rumor claims that Netflix's Narcos is a major inspiration, and your car will behave like Red Dead Redemption 2's horse, in that it serves a mobile storage as well as a transport. Yeah, but I mean, this is the actual Vice City mod here too. I mean, I think that's looks pretty good. You know, it's. I mean, for those of you that are, like, it's good for people that are nostalgic about the game, I guess. I mean, you had fun, like put on like those cheat codes, driving on a car while you're shooting a rocket launcher. You're saying,
and I've also played
driving a DeLorean.
that throws in a lot of Vice City elements and winks and nods to the old games, and I've got San Andreas on my Steam account, and I think I've got some of the older Grand Theft games in there. It's like, they're fun and everything, but it's like, do I feel the need to really go back, to throw them into the new stuff?
I forget, was Vice City, because it kind of looks like there was that game where they had or was it even all the way up to San Andreas, where your hands were modeled as like mitts or whatever? They couldn't even do the individual fingers yet.
Yeah, I think San Andreas was like that. I mean, San Andreas and Vice City were very similar in a lot of ways. I mean, my problem with San Andreas was everybody had a gun, so it's like,
Yeah.
in Vice City, it's like you shoot people, and eventually the cops get called on you. In San Andreas, you shoot somebody from behind you shoots you.
It's like you bump into a pedestrian and they're already whipping out a gun.
I mean, I get that it's the 90s, gang stuff and everything, but it's like it just made it impossibly hard. So I always just played it in cheat mode, because story wise, I'm like, I can't play this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that was your last news story for the night?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember me and you playing it. We'd be like flying around in the DeLorean and stuff with the car flying cheat.
Well, the car fly cheat in Vice City, was fun because you basically Dukes a Hazard everywhere. But in San Andreas, you could literally make the car fly. So you've got the DeLorean.
Yeah.
And you can spin it around and do all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm just like, am I Harry Potter? Am I driving around in their flying car? Oh man.
Back to the Future, man.
You'd get the jetpack, yeah.
DeLorean?
I don't know, man. But let's see. But if that's your last news story, let me just share one of my own.
Oh, okay.
Which you've probably seen. Send it in the messages. Is that the right place for it?
Are you doing it in the chat or whatever?
Yeah, in the send messages. Or should I just message you through the?
Yeah, just do it in just do Hangouts Messenger or whatever.
Or this thing right here. Let me try that.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Ian. Call somebody. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I like to tell you, Valiant is back. It's called Bite now.
Oh yes, I saw that as an article. That's interesting.
Yep, we're bringing back 6-second loops. They're coming for TikTok. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when we loop for you?
Did you hear about that TikTok challenge?
Which one?
Where they're having people put like
cereal challenge,
something between. No, it was like they're having people put like something between your charger and the wall outlet or whatever.
No. Did you see the other challenge where they were saying that guys could taste stuff through their nuts?
No.
Yeah, my problem is I followed a bunch of animal accounts on TikTok because everything else was kind of annoying. So now my feed is constantly like, dogs telling me about this is the story of my dad and my mom and how they made me, or it's cute animals, which don't get me wrong, it's what I want to follow, but it's also totally different from everything else now. So
Oh yeah, you would partially insert the charger and then slide a penny down in it.
oh
Maybe
boy,
maybe after I do that, I'll have some yummy Tide Pods.
well, you could be like that YouTube couple where the guy held a book in front of him and thought it was going to stop a bullet.
Didn't they do that on MythBusters or something?
I don't know, but didn't work for them. So anyway, but yeah, it's Vine too. They changed it to Byte, and it's for people who want to be authentic and do 6-second loops. And they have categories now. So like as opposed to TikTok, which is more like tags, tag based and search based and
Yeah.
dubbing to popular songs. This one is more what can you put on there. So there's some pretty impressive VFX artists on starting out there. Like it's only officially been launched like 2 days now, I think.
Oh
But
really?
it's like there's like I was watching one bite from a guy where he's bouncing a ball and then it bounces and hits him and he explodes into a bunch of little balls. And like he had one where he walked into a door and he tripped and suddenly he was a chalk outline that was animated in the door and then the door opened and he's on the other side.
Hmm.
So it's like cool. They got an animation section, they got a music section, they got just a section just chill. So
Yeah.
I missed Vine, so I'm glad it's back. It's I mean sure it brought us
Yeah.
things like Logan Paul, but it also it had its moments. Like you look at a lot of compilations now, and you're like, man, TikTok. It's not quite the same. I don't know what it is. It's you figure, oh, it's a little bit longer. Was it 30 seconds to a minute? And it's like you figure, oh, and there's a lot of music-based stuff there, so you can, you figure people would be, and artists would be animating music loops and stuff. But it's like, I don't know. I like the idea of Byte.
Yeah. It sounds neat,
So I thought I'd mention that one. I was also going to
Thank
ask
you.
you, have you seen Klaus yet?
I have not, no.
It's on Netflix. So it was the 2D animated film where it looks CG by the way they lit it and shaded it.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Figured you would have opinions on it.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
You haven't seen the trailer or
No.
let me just pull up.
Hey,
Nice.
could you talk to them about that or whatever for a sec? I really have to use the bathroom.
Can I talk? Okay, fine. I will talk to the audience about Klaus.
Okay, thanks,
So,
buddy.
okay, everybody. So, Ian is gone to go potty now, and so I'm going to tell you about the film Klaus, which I have yet to see it myself as well because I've been saving it for date night with my girlfriend, and she's very picky about. No, I don't want to watch anime films all the time. I want to watch other stuff. I'm like, not all the time, and it's animation's not a genre. In the words of Brad Bird, it's a technique. You can, there's animated drama films. But an issue with animation has been 2D has been kind of left in the dust for the new shiny 3D CG bright and colorful. It looks like it's real and you can touch it kind of effect. And it's like with Klaus, it's a 2D film, but they've done an insanely impressive job at rendering the lighting and the shadow. And a lot of people are like, "Wait, that's not CG." It's like, yeah, it's a very well. I mean, it uses computers obviously for digital painting and for rendering certain dynamic effects.
All
But
right.
it's still a 2D film. Hello, Ian. You feel better now?
All right. Then, and yeah, I feel much better. I can actually function now. Uh, did did you put link me that too?
I was I I was doing a search on it, and that's when somebody decided that he had to go potty. So I was, but real quick here, let me find the window for the chat. Got so much stuff on one screen, it's insane. Okay,
Okay. Mm.
close. Okay, and then there we are.
Oh wow.
hmm
And this is all like, is this like AI or some shit?
Here's what made the 2D animation Klaus look 3D. I'm not. Well, they've got a video down there, and let's see. So they've got tools in it that do things, but it's an impressive looking image, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I assume that the more like layers of shading or highlights you do, probably the more accurate it would come out.
Let's see. I'm just gonna take a look at some of the videos and see if they show anything good. Do 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 do. Come on. Okay, gosh. Off the brush. But yeah, very very beautiful looking film.
I wonder if they like applied that to, like some old Disney animations, how they would turn out.
Let's see. Origins of Klaus, some tests. Trying to find some better still images so that that we don't get good old copyright claims. There's
Well, me and Frank.
an article on Cartoon Brew, the almighty site for you. Doop doop doop. Paste.
Well, me and Frank. Whenever we show a video, we'll just we'll just go through the video, like like we'll just show a frame here and there from the video.
Yeah, you got some images there.
I'm just taking a look at the Klaus. I mean the Cartoon Brew. Let's see that video. They show the progression of a shot, and then let's see. At the same time, we worked on the pipeline for texturing using MOE, another custom software developed. Expression is a type of expressive renderer. It can analyze a sequence of images to detect contours, lighting, motion, and reproduce traditional styles like oil painting or crayon. Once set up, this software is very effective in production.
Huh.
Oh yeah, there's the actual image of Klaus himself. Tests show the character of Klaus with traditional lighting and texturing left, and as he appears in the film, right. And looks nice and modeled. Using and avoiding CGI. They talk about it. There's the trailer. Interesting. But yeah, I figured you might have opinions as a big CG guy. Trying to see what
That's really cool.
the write up is on Toon Boom's blog about it. I saw an article recently about people using Blender actually on a film, because you know how they've got, Blender is obviously freeware, but then they've also got that grease pencil. So like you can animate an entire 2D short in it or feature film, and therefore you can make 3D stuff and draw it and then transition shots in between in being 3D and then draw in 3D and then real 3D.
Right. No, I think that's really cool. That really is blurring the lines with technology, with or like the different mediums.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know a lot of 2D fans. They're like, "Oh boy, a huge, a big production like this," and people are very excited to see it, and it's distributed on a lot of places and on Netflix. It was playing in like California and limited, run in theaters, and then on Netflix now, and it's like, I think that's great. Unfortunately, like a 2D film has to try and emulate a 3D film to get this much attention right now. That's my only concern with it. I mean, I heard it's great. I heard it's a great movie, and it looks great. So
that's pretty cool, though.
Just checking AWN site. Hank Azaria says no more Apu on The Simpsons.
Oh, why?
Well, I think we know why, but
Yeah.
maybe he's stepping down from the role. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. I saw an article very recently about where a director was talking about working in a Blender. But I don't remember where it was, and I'm sure I'll remember right after I leave.
Of course.
Because, yeah. I mean, granted, I've known a number of 2D folks that are really starting to, appreciate Blender and how easy it is to use, and they're, using it for backgrounds and other elements. And it's like, well, you just have to be careful not to do, the special editions.
Right.
Put a giant rock in front of your character's face, and now let's include the big dance number.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Do you use a Blender much, Ian, or?
No, I mean not like a whole lot. I mean, their render engine, which is Cycles, has gotten really good now. And they have a real time render engine for actually when you're modeling in the program and you're like you're changing the scene around and stuff. It has a lot of real time aspects where it's like almost like a video game. Whereas you can see all the lighting and shadows and stuff, and
Is it Elephant's Game? Or Elephant's Dream, I think might be the. Why did I think game when it was Dream? Trying to. I mean, that whole grease pencil thing where you can draw in it and, have projected screens, in the 3D world.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you can do similar things in Toon Boom because it has real 3D space. It's just you either have to ortho-lock the camera, the camera to the plane, or things get interesting.
Right. Well, you don't want if you're doing like planes or whatever, you probably don't unless if it's intentional, you don't want any kind of perspective, because then if a plane is farther away from you, it's going to be smaller, and it won't fit the whole screen, right?
I don't even know. Well, I mean, Two Moon has an option where you can move stuff in perspective, so further and closer back without changing the size of the image. So that
Yeah.
way, you draw something and it's like, okay, I drew this to the scale I want. Now let me just place it back to affect the blur or the other atmospheric effects of it. So,
But I don't know if you saw any of my vlogs, but for the intro of my vlogs, I have like these like different colors, like it's like an abstract like fire type of thing, and then I have like different code I did in After Effects where I animated planes with like like a transparency of like different code and like math and stuff coming like from like farther away, zooming into you.
oh man, math. Yeah, because I've been playing around with HTML5 canvas, and it's like you can I'm used to tools that have brushes and pens and similar to real world drawing stuff, but then you look at you know internet animation stuff, and there's like here it's all code, and then or here's all this, you load up this JavaScript library and then the CSS library, and I'm like, I get what I am so my left brain and my right brain are looking at it going, what?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, and I think we've babbled on for quite a while. I think it's about time to go. What do you say?
Yeah. I was trying to hold it until going to the bathroom until we were done, but we were still winding down a little bit.
You're trying to literally hold it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was nice. It was nice doing this again. We haven't had you on the show for a while, and have you for like the whole show at least.
Hmm. Yeah, it was nice popping in, and I hope you check out Klaus, because it is a nice looking film. As a CG guy, it'd be
I
like
would definitely want to check that out, man. That's pretty sweet.
a nice blend of 2D and 3D stuff.
Yeah. By the way, did you want to plug anything? Like, what's up with your podcast? Is that still No Rights Podcast? Have you
I'm
had
still
like a
calling.
lot of episodes on there so far by yourself?
I've so far I relaunched it this couple weeks into this month. Comes out on Wednesdays now. It's still the No Rights Podcast. I've only got 3 episodes right now, I believe, and it's me talking talking about what I'm working on now, what my projects are going. I rambled about YouTube for a while on the last one.
Yeah.
I talked about my ideas for a site similar to Homestar Runner and Joe Cartoon, except using HTML5 animation. I talk about talk about stuff like that. How some weeks I have really good ideas, and others it's like, okay, guys, it's just what I'm doing. I spent all month working on this thing, and here's how it hasn't worked out, or here's what I've learned. so.
Who was that guy that you were saying was that on one of your shows that you were talking with the guy?
No, that was a different thing. He does a Skype mentorship where you
Oh, okay.
So you set an appointment and call him and talk to him for 30 minutes or so, and he looks at your stuff and helps give you advice on where your career is going and what you need to be doing. So, and I talked to him actually like 3 years ago, and I kept meaning to get back to him after I did some stuff, but then I kept having other stuff to do, and then other stuff, and then it became, oh God, no, it's been 3 years, and he's going to think I'm a failure. And it's like, no, he was cool. He's like, well, don't take so long next time. I'm like, yeah, I'll get back to him soon. So yeah.
Do you have any plans for the next? Can you give us a taste of?
Well, now that Bytes come out, I'm going to be taking a look at that and talking about because I've been looking into animating on TikTok, but with the whole, videos are 30 seconds to 60 seconds, and it's like, you tell me that, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna make a 6-second video. No one's gonna watch that. I'll make a 30-second to a minute and spend forever coming up with ideas. But now that Byte's back, and or Vine's back as Byte, it's like I'll just make a bunch of 6-second videos. So I'll have, a timeline of a minute, and be like, okay, here's one, and just come up with 10 ideas at a time. So
Yeah.
I'll talk about my experience with that and see what I think of the community.
All right, that's pretty cool. Now, do you obviously do you have everything set up? Like, is it like on YouTube and like your website or whatever?
The blog, I mean the podcast.
Yeah.
It's just on my site because right now it's back just to audio because nobody needs to look at me talking to them.
Oh, come on, man.
If I have any interviews or guests, I might go back, might do some videos, but it's for now it just needs to be just because some of them can be short. They can be like 17 minutes. The last one was like a half hour, I think, maybe 45 minutes, like so. It's just how long I need to talk about stuff, and hopefully people get some. I'm still linking stuff about it. The still doing show notes. I've got a plugin that it rates the quality of my blog posts for SEO and stuff. And the last one, it was like, the quality of this blog post is poor. You keep talking in passive voice, so you need to do these. I'm like, I'm not changing a thing. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I have time for this. I'll write a nice strong blog post later, but this is show notes. I don't need to impress anybody.
Well, if you decide to put it on YouTube, I've got it pretty good with the OBS now. I have a reusable key for YouTube that all I have to do is hit start streaming on OBS now, and it's pretty easy. And I still need to work on like the logo and stuff for my show, and like arrange things and make it nice and neat, because before, like when I'm at home, I have my webcams so I can have like a double screen, so I could have me and Frank both on the screen at the same time.
Yeah.
And
you got it, man.
It's pretty easy now, because I thought it was going to be harder since the Google Hangouts went away, at least as far as like the Hangouts on air or whatever.
Yeah, well, enjoy it till Google decides to move something, because.
Yeah. Well, we tried using Skype, and that's been kind of buggy too, or whatever. Trying to use that with OBS. It's like running Discord doesn't work either. It's like we're running out of chat clients, man.
I don't know, man. Well, good luck on all that.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, thanks for coming on the show and stuff. We look forward to, like having you on again, and I hope they listen to your podcast too. Yeah,
I look forward to seeing the other everybody else. Frank, Doug, Nate. Seeing other people on. I get busy. You guys always. It's just you guys always call me right when I'm already talking with my girlfriend. So.
Yeah. Well, since Frank hasn't been on the show, I don't really care what day we do it. It was Frank. Frank wanted to do the show on Fridays because of whatever, he sleeps all weekend or whatever, I guess.
Every day is your gaming day. I'm gonna play Fallout. Fallout.
Yeah. And I've been busy today, so like I would have done it earlier, but shit happens, man.
That's life, man. You realize that when you start a regular project, it's like that's when everything comes up. It's like, man. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we had Nate and Doug on last week's shows, but if I could get all of us together, that would be nice. Maybe next week, and we'll see.
Cool, man. Yeah. So you have a good time. What? I'd like to meet your girlfriend sometime, man. you gonna be still watching the dog for a while yet?
Yeah, probably until February 5th, somewhere around there. I think that's like another week and a half. Um, and yeah, like uh, I've been trying to do stuff too. So like, I don't know. I have to see how she is about being on camera or whatever.
Or if she wants to call in, or if she's just like, nope, just talk about me. That's fine. I don't need to be here. Which
Yeah,
that's totally fine.
she's not too much of a nerdy person. She's kind of like Frank's wife, maybe.
Oh, so she's a normie, and you just bring her in. I get you. I get you.
Yeah, like I was thinking about because I I did a couple vlogs already on my channel, and I filmed a couple. I still have to edit and put on YouTube, and like I'd like to do a vlog while I'm here, something to do, I guess. But I don't know if she would be down to being on camera. That's something I have to ask her.
Well, that's fine too. Nice, respectable thing. It's just I'd like to say hi to everybody. See all you and whoever else you guys end up bringing on the show. So it was nice to come on again, say hi. I like to poke my
Yeah,
head in and
nice.
say hello.
I'm glad you're doing better, and I hope if that's the life I mean, either way, I just hope she gets better.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So I guess I'll see y'all later. You have a nice week, man. Enjoy the weather getting colder again.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like this weather can't make up its mind, and it sucks because I like to play with the dog outside sometimes, and then because the snow melts and it starts getting muddy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks, man.
Yeah, nice solid either decide if it's gonna be really snowy or just nice. But nope, it's gotta be in between and muddy.
Yeah, it's gotta look shitty outside.
Mm-hmm. Well, until next time, man. Bye everybody. We'll see you all on the other side.
All right, man.
All right, you have a nice night, man. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Peace out.
You too, buddy.
Bye.
Peace out.
Bye.
All right, guys. That's the end of the show here. I don't know what's I'm gonna be doing for the rest of the night. Maybe just hang out. I might get something to eat here before bed. Just watch shit on my tablet. I don't know. Who gives a shit, right? As Doug would say. I'm glad my computer is for this most of the show here. And my phone's been working okay. I had to plug the phone in earlier because it told me my battery was low, and since I'm using the camera on the phone, that's probably really draining it. But it's yeah, so that's good, I guess. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing another vlog here while I'm here. I still have a couple of vlogs that I haven't even edited, like I said, so those will probably end up if I do one while I'm here, it'll probably end up being put on like later. So like I have a vlogs that haven't even been edited that were from like earlier in the summer. Like around August or whatever. Because I remember I had one that I filmed, like around because it was my sister's birthday and then my stepmom's birthday, and I had both of those like in the same weekend, I think, or same week or whatever. I forget. But yeah. But anyways, though, thanks for tuning in. If you tune in live or if you download this at a future date, thanks for listening. Yeah, that's about it. Peace out, guys. Peace out. Yeah. Yeah. Let me get the show. Where the heck is it? Come on, man. Here we go. air guitar. I'm sorry. Sorry, Pistol Cringy.
Yeah, that was fun.
Have a good day.
I see that's not
Have a good day.
It sounded more clear. Okay.